General.
Thank you, President. So the smart cards will now be distributed by the IOC administration, while the French delegations will be taking their seats. So as you have heard from Mr. Coates, the subject matter of the vote is: do you accept to elect the French Harps 2030 as host of the 26th Olympic Winter Games 2030, subject to submission of the Games delivery guarantee and the timeline set by the IOC Executive Board? In accordance with Rule 18.5.1, the following members will not take part in the vote, and these are Monsieur Guy Dru, Monsieur David Lapartien, Monsieur Jean-Christophe Rolland, and Monsieur Martin Fourcade. So these people are asked to hand in their smart card to a member of the staff, and the smart card will then be returned to these 4 people after the vote. Yeah. No, there. So does everyone having a voting keypad and a smart card? Mr. Ver, yeah, so I'm waiting. Mr. Verten is no, there in the back. So does everyone have a keypad and a smart card again? I'm looking at our technicians there. This seems to be the case now, and I'm going to ask for the opening of the vote. The vote is now open. Did everyone have the opportunity to vote? That seemed to be the case. I'm going to declare the vote closed. The vote is now closed.
Chers collègues et amis, chers amis
Dear
français,
colleagues and friends, the French representatives, so provided that the conditions established by the 142nd session of the IOC being met, the International Olympic Committee has the honor to announce that the 26th Winter Olympic Games 2030 will be attributed to the French Alps.
Mesdames et messieurs, nous demandons aux présentateurs français de bien vouloir venir sur scène pour une photo de groupe. Merci.
The French team to come up onto the podium for a group photograph.
Délégation des présentateurs. Avant, nous donnons maintenant la parole et nous
We're
accueillons
now
le
going
président
to give the floor to the President of the French Republic, Emmanuel Macron, who will speak to the 42nd session of the IOC. Thank you. I'm not going to make another speech.
Monsieur le Président, cher Thomas,
President Bach, dear Thomas, ladies and gentlemen, members of the IOC,
au nom de toute la délégation
on
française
behalf of the entire French delegation and the bid for the French Alps, we would like to thank you for your confidence and trust. I think that we should welcome the professionalism of the team and everything that they have done to help us improve the candidates. And I will continue to improve and over the next weeks and months up to 2030. But I'd like to thank you all for the trust that you have placed in us today with your vote, and to say to you with a lot of determination and to attachment to the Olympic movement that we will be there and we will respect our commitments. Thank you to the IOC. Thank you to the 142nd session. We're happy that you're having this session in Paris, and thank you very much for the choice that you have made today. Thank you.
Administration has probably already or will now come to collect the smart cards. They will be then returned to you for the next vote. And again, please remain in your seats while we refresh.
To France, and then we just turn stories throughout the day for you guys at Fox 13 back home in Utah. But again, this is going to be an exciting day here. We are just waiting for the Utah presentation to begin. Just running a couple minutes behind. We were expecting to begin at 10:30 here in France, 2:30 there back in Utah. It appears they're just running a little bit behind. There was a big celebration again when the French Alps were announced as the winner of the host of the 2030 games. So really an exciting time in France. Paris getting the 2024 Summer Games. 6 years from now, they'll have the Winter Games in the French Alps as well. We can say, that we were walking around the streets of Paris. We talked to our Uber driver this morning, and he said things are not busy here. I think a lot of folks have stayed away from Paris and France because they were worried about maybe the crowds or the security as well. But the crowds just have not materialized here for the 2024 games yet, at least. And I was here 5 years ago just on a family vacation. And I believe we are going to talk about the presentation. So Max, I think the presentation for Utah is ready to go.
All right, exciting stuff. What you're looking at right now is what John has so appropriately called the Palais de Congrès, in France, just it's the room where the Congress meets, and that is where the Utah delegation is going to be making their presentation at any moment. And I have my earpiece in. They'll let me know as soon as that presentation gets started. By the way, I also noticed John in France less than 48 hours, but he's already switched to the metric system. Emmanuel Macron is just meters away. I love it, John. It's so good to have you out there, and Scott downtown in Salt Lake City. And that is something I'm sure you've been wondering about, and that we've been wondering about around the Fox 13 newsroom, is what is going to be the level of interest in Utah. We've known for quite some time that that we're pursuing these games. The polls have said there's a lot of interest, but interest and enthusiasm can be very different things. And there's enthusiasm. You look at where Scott is, and at Washington Square, hundreds of people at 2:30 in the morning. That's pretty amazing. Okay, so you're looking right now at the presentation happening in France. I'm going to ask our producers, are we going to listen in on that? Is that, or are we waiting for the Utah portion to begin? Or I also noticed Breck Bolton is standing by. Breck is in another part of downtown Salt Lake City. He's going to be along the parade route for the Days of 47 parade. And we're going to go to the presentation right now because we understand that the Utah presentation is going to begin.
Were 4. And then also for your information, because you have heard there that the Executive Board would set deadlines for the delivery of the guarantees. And these games delivery guarantee, the date has been set by the Executive Board for the Prime Minister at the latest by 1st of October 2024, and this guarantee signed by the Prime Minister then has to be ratified by the French Parliament no later than 1st of March 2025. So far, for the Olympic Winter Games 2030, and now, dear friends and colleagues, we move to the election of the host of the 27th Olympic Winter Games 2034. For this purpose, I would very much like to invite the delegation from Salt Lake City, Utah, to the stage. Dear friends and colleagues, please receive the delegation. It's your... Hey. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all the members of the delegation led by the Governor of Utah, Mr. Spencer Cox, the Mayor of Salt Lake City, Mrs. Erin Mendenhall, the President of the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee, Mr. Gene Sykes, the President and CEO of the Salt Lake City, Utah Committee, Fraser Bullock, two-time Paralympian Mr. Dani Adavic, Olympic champion, now they have disappeared, Lindsey Vonn, and the chair of the Salt Lake City, Utah 2034, and Olympian Mrs. Catherine Rainey Norman. Welcome to the delegation of Salt Lake City, Utah, and you have the floor.
President Bach, distinguished IOC members, future host commission, dear friends and colleagues, good morning. I am Gene Sykes, the President of the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee. And before the prepared remarks, let me just say how much I speak on behalf of Los Angeles yesterday, Salt Lake City, Utah today, the US OPC, and honestly all American guests who are here in France to appreciate the incredible hospitality, the emotion, and the readiness to serve the Olympic movement that we see in Paris and all of France, in particular with the presentation by the French group for the French Alps. It's very exciting to share this with France, one of our great friends. The United States and France together have the incredible honor and privilege to serve the Olympic and Paralympic movements with 2 games each in the next decade. Incredibly meaningful to us, and we take our responsibilities very seriously. Salt Lake City and the state of Utah share a chapter in our Olympic history. They have been working patiently during the past 20 years toward a new opportunity to host the Games. At the USOPC, we understand the spirit of partnership at the center of any Games effort. We are here to collaborate with you, to welcome you, and to assure you that throughout this 10-year endeavor, we will give the very best we have to offer. We have a deep and abiding respect for the Olympic movement and its spectrum of stakeholders, and we are committed to strengthening the Olympic and Paralympic movement in every way that we can. Salt Lake City and Utah have even more to give back to the Olympic and Paralympic movements as they seek the honor of hosting the Games of 2034. The USOPC has been working alongside our 2034 partners, and we enthusiastically support this bid. I would like to introduce you to the President and CEO of Salt Lake City, Utah 2034, my good friend Fraser Bullock.
Thank you, Jean. Bonjour, mes amis. President Bach.
Hello, dear friends.
IOC members, Olympic and Paralympic colleagues, dear friends, I would like to welcome you to Utah.
There are places here that are almost indescribable. The understated American West, held inside a magic that makes you think. Do places like this really exist? The answer is yes. And that beauty sits on the edge of innovation, home to the most welcoming people you'll ever meet. This is Utah.
This is our home, and we love it. We want to share our home with you with open arms. Allow me to introduce the rest of our team. Spencer Cox, our great governor of the state of Utah. Aaron Mendenhall, our fantastic mayor of Salt Lake City. And of course, Jean. Catherine Rainey Norman, known as Kat. She is a 4-time Olympian in speed skating who competed on home ice in 2002. Kat also serves alongside me as board chair. Next is Olympic champion Lindsey Vonn, who won the downhill at the Vancouver 2010 Games. She's a 4-time Olympian and winner of 82 World Cups and an integral part of our planning. And her first Olympic experience was in Salt Lake in 2002. Finally, Dani Arovich, Paralympian in both winter and summer. She competed in Tokyo 2020 in athletics and in Beijing 2022 in Nordic skiing. I would also like to recognize and warmly thank our IOC members from the United States, Anita DeFrance and David Haggerty, for their invaluable advice and support. So many have contributed to get us to this point. I would like to personally thank Team Utah. Let me also offer congratulations to our colleagues from the French Alps and the 2030 team they put together. Your presentation was outstanding, and we see so many opportunities to collaborate with you as partners in advancing winter sport. I cannot fully express my sense of joy at this moment. Utah loves the Games and what they mean to the world. It has been our dream to be here, back in front of you, almost every day since we submitted our final report for the 2002 Games. And today, finally, we're back.
You can hear it in the passionate cheers of fans who fill the very same hallowed venues that hosted the 2002 Games. Because the Olympic and Paralympic Games left us with more than just venues and memories. The Games reshaped our culture, creating a proud tradition of hosting international competitions and sparking programs that teach the value of sport and teamwork to thousands of kids every year. This legacy sets the stage for an even brighter future when the games return. Because Salt Lake is now and will forever be an Olympic city. It's part of our everyday life, woven into the fabric of every Utahn. And we can't wait to open our home to the world once more and say, welcome back.
Those, oh yes, beautiful. Those are more than just memories for the people of Utah. They are living legacies. They remind us of the potential for our communities in 2034 and beyond. Our ambition today isn't just about 2034, it's about helping us reimagine the Winter Games into the future. Under President Bach's leadership, the IOC has done a tremendous job strengthening the Games through Agenda 2020 and +5. Strengthening the Games is also foundational to our ambitions. The Olympic and Paralympic movements thrive when we all collaborate together. This collective effort ensures that we provide the best environments for the athletes and a fair field of play. We are grateful for the work being done by the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, and its implementation of the World Anti-Doping Code. We strongly support WADA's efforts as the ultimate global authority on anti-doping. And we strongly support WADA's mission. And we're grateful for all who fight globally for clean sport. In recent weeks, our friends in the international sport federations have raised valid concerns about how anti-doping enforcement may be conducted in the United States. These concerns were expressed to me in a recent letter from Chairman Stoss and the Future Host Commission. We take these concerns very seriously. We want our friends to feel very welcome and safe in the United States. In this respect, we totally support reinforcing the Olympic host contract. We are 100% committed to that effort. I now turn it back to Gene Sykes.
Thank you, Fraser. First, I want to congratulate the entire team from Salt Lake City, Utah, for their exceptional work in preparing to host another unforgettable Olympic Winter Games. As Fraser noted, we have listened intently to the concerns of our colleagues from the IFs and others regarding anti-doping enforcement. We also appreciate the time that President Bach and his team have given us to discuss this important issue. We at the USOPC take these concerns very seriously. We want our friends in sport to feel welcome and safe in the United States at all times. We fully support WADA and its mission to ensure that athletes from around the world can compete in a fair environment. The USOPC, Salt Lake City, Utah, LA 28, and the full range of U.S. federal, state, and local government authorities have invested enormous efforts to host 2 games in a decade. This is truly a once-in-a-generation experience and a tremendous responsibility for our country. I speak on behalf of all of these stakeholders when I say that the importance of this effort cannot be overstated. Fraser, let me hand it back to you.
I would now like to share with you our Games Master Plan. Our 2002 Winter Games experience and how we have created our Games legacy during the past 20 years are keys to being ready to host again. The venue master plan uses 100% existing or temporary world-class venues that are ready. These venues carry on the prolific 2002 legacy that continues to benefit the state of Utah and its people today. This legacy also benefits athletes from more than 30 countries who currently train in our facilities every year. One of the special aspects of our project is that we have one Olympic and Paralympic Village. It is a unique, irreplaceable experience to have athletes from all over the world together in one place. Another special aspect is that all venues are within 60 minutes of the village, and most venues within 30 minutes. Our compact games makes for a more intimate experience for all the athletes and indeed all stakeholders. Salt Lake City will become an enormous Olympic festival with the entire city center activated. Several sports, including figure skating, short track, curling, and outdoor big air competitions will be hosted there, as well as Medals Plaza and the main media center. And downtown is only 10 minutes from our amazing Olympic and Paralympic Village, and only 10 minutes from our newly rebuilt net zero Salt Lake City International Airport. This master plan enables us to elevate the 2034 Olympic and Paralympic Winter Games experience for everyone. We are ready. Everything is in place. But beyond our physical assets, you can count on our people. As great as our venues are, our people are even better. I would like to invite Governor Cox to tell you more.
Thank you, Fraser. Dear President Bach and IOC members and fellow colleagues in the Olympic and Paralympic movements, good morning. And a very good early morning to the thousands of Utahns who have camped out all night waiting for this moment. When the people of our state get behind our effort, they are completely behind it. They're all hoping to celebrate the potential of the Winter Games return to Utah on our state's biggest holiday that just happens to be today, July 24th, Pioneer Day. I am honored and thrilled to be here today with all of you. I bring the greetings and aspirations of 3.5 million citizens of Utah who love the games and can't wait to host them again. You see, we have a history together. We've been good partners before, and you can count on us. We have an experienced, trusted team that hosted the games in 2002, and a state that has hosted more than 1,100 events since the 2002 Winter Games. That's an average of 50 events a year, every year since 2002. Now, in our state, we have something special that we call the Utah Way. The Utah Way prioritizes relationships over political party, ideology, or cultural differences to solve our collective challenges. That aligns very well with the Olympic movement itself. We both value excellence, respect, and friendship. In today's polarized world, we are doing something truly unique. We have 100% political alignment today at every level of state and local government across all parties for hosting the 2034 Games. Utah also has, that's worth cheering for. Utah also has America's youngest and fastest growing population, a remarkably resilient economy, and we're #1 in volunteerism and philanthropy. Our population is also diversifying rapidly, and 134 languages are spoken in Utah. All of this means we are ready to help elevate the 2034 Games and the Olympic and Paralympic movements. Thank you on behalf of everyone in our communities for bringing us on this journey. Now, let me welcome back Fraser to share our vision.
Thank you, Governor Cox, for sharing the best of Utah and its people. Over many years of planning, you, the IOC, have taught us that one of the most important areas of focus for any Games host is its vision. Our vision is simple, clear, relevant not only to us, but to all of you. It is based on the word elevate. Put simply, our goal is to elevate our communities, to elevate sport, and to elevate the Games experience. The Games have the power to unite us in making a positive impact in so many ways. The essence of our ambition is to use the 2034 Games as an opportunity to do good. We believe that the 2034 Games have a vision that is focused outward, not just inward. We seek to have opportunities to partner with you to use the 2034 Games to benefit the entire Olympic and Paralympic movements. Our next presenters will show you examples of how we can make our vision a reality and how we hope to make a difference together. First, we have our capital city's outstanding mayor, Erin Mendenhall, to share more about our vision.
Thank you, Fraser. Bonjour, bonjour à tous. Good morning to you all. As mayor of Salt Lake City, I want to first thank you for the outstanding partnership that we have fostered over the past several years. Our conversations, our meetings and gatherings have been so inspiring, and I could not be more optimistic for the future of the Olympic and Paralympic movement, not only in Utah, but around the world. The foundational element of our vision is to elevate our communities. The Games will catalyze our ambitions and help us become a more sustainable, equitable, and opportunity-rich city. Our youth are at the heart of every major move our city makes. If Salt Lake City is awarded the 2034 Games, the breadth of the inspiration that the Games ignite will know no bounds. The Olympic values are embedded in our DNA and will serve as a scaffolding that supports our youth in pursuing their dreams. We are excited to establish programs that bring athletes into our classrooms, after-school programs, and our community centers to bring these values to life. The Games will also help us further unify our communities. And in a divided world, they are an opportunity to deepen connection for a cause that is greater than ourselves as individuals. 80% of Utah residents support bringing the Games back to Salt Lake City and Utah. We will make these Games more inclusive, more welcoming, and more meaningful for the world and for our own communities. This effort will also help us make sustainable environmental progress by accelerating our climate-positive Salt Lake City initiative that centers on moving to net 100% renewable energy citywide by 2030. Hosting the Games can help our rapidly expanding efforts to improve air quality and protect the Great Salt Lake, which we are tackling as a unified state. The Games are a perfect fit for our future. Hosting the Games aligns seamlessly with the fabric of our communities, accelerates our ambitions for sustainability, and proudly represents our shared Olympic and Paralympic values. Our project has a lot to offer, but maybe the most important is the least tangible, and that is the power of optimism and partnership. We've done our homework, we've laid the groundwork, and we are ready to start the real work alongside you, our Olympic and Paralympic partners. Merci. Now, I'd like to welcome Paralympian Dani Ervich to the podium.
Thank you, Mayor Mendenhall, and good morning, everyone. I am honored to be a part of this effort to bring the Olympic and Paralympic Games back to Utah in 2034. Even though I grew up with a physical disability, I did not know much about the Paralympics. But everything changed when I began meeting people involved in the 2002 Games. Their passion for the Olympics and the Paralympics inspired me to pursue a new dream full force. And Utah was the ideal place to be. While I was training for track and field in Utah, I was recruited to try para-Nordic skiing. Several former Olympians and Paralympians helped me out by loaning me skis, coaching me, and supporting my development in the sport. Training at the Soldier Hollow venue made me feel so much closer to achieving my dreams of representing the U.S. at the Paralympic Games. I became one of 4 Team USA athletes to qualify for Summer Tokyo 2020 and Winter Beijing 2022. I actually have the Wasatch Mountain Range tattooed on my ankle, and it's because Utah, its people, and the legacy of 2002 spurred me into a brand new athletic career in my disability advocacy work. You know, my first prosthetic arm was made in Utah, but it is my love for sport that was truly fabricated there. Utah gave me a new dream too. And while I may be 37 years old in 2034, my greatest hope is I can compete in the place that made me a Paralympian and inspire the next generation of athletes with disabilities. Thank you. And I'm so excited to hand it over to Lindsey Vaughn.
Thank you, Dani. Your story is so inspirational. And thank you to the members of the Olympic and Paralympic family for welcoming us all here today. I am so grateful to be a part of this team, to help bring the Games back to a city that I love, and to help the Olympic movement reimagine the Winter Games for future generations of athletes. As Olympic and Paralympic athletes, we share the extremes of human endeavor with the world. We have moments of disappointment that teach us, and we have moments of pure magic as we celebrate at the end of a long athletic journey. But what matters most to us is being able to share those moments with our families. But often, athletes' families can't join the very dream they helped create. I've experienced this firsthand. One of my biggest worries was trying to make sure family members could get to see me compete. At many important competitions, including the Olympics, I experienced challenges obtaining tickets, accommodations, and transportation for them. It would have been so helpful to be able to focus exclusively on competing, knowing that my family had been taken care of and could be there with me, especially at those pivotal moments during my career. My dad may not have been at all of my competitions, but he's always supported me. And I'm so thankful that he's here today to support me now. I know that I'm not unique, and this challenge at the time of an athlete's great achievement is far more common than anyone would imagine. When Fraser asked me what I could do as Chief of Athlete Experience, my immediate response was to take care of the athletes' families. So along with our team, we created a program we call the Athletes' Families Initiative. The program is simple. We will welcome athletes' families from around the world and help them share and experience the special moments when their loved ones compete. Our communities are ready to welcome these athlete families to next to our Olympic and Paralympic Village. This will be a Games first. It's not a coincidence that the movement refers to itself as the Olympic and Paralympic family. Families matter in every culture, and in Utah, that is especially true. Salt Lake City, Utah 2034 wants to celebrate the athletes' experience in a new way. What better way to do that than with the most important people in our lives, their families? Thank you. And now, please welcome Kat.
Thank you, Lindsay. President Bach, distinguished IOC members, international federations, National Olympic Committees, fellow athletes, teammates, and dear friends. Greetings and good morning. It's an honor being here with you today. Today is a wonderful day because as we gather to celebrate the magnificent Games of Paris 2024, we are also preparing the movement for the next decade. Dreams are the fuel of our movement. Maybe you've heard that before. Maybe that sounds like a cliche, but it isn't for us. Here's why. Athletes dream of standing on the podium. Teams dream of proudly representing their countries. Humanity dreams of the Games' power to unite the world. And Salt Lake City, Utah, 2034, dreams of harnessing our passion and history to help forge a new future for the Winter Games. Our dream is a big one, but we're ready for it. Our project has never been about us. It's about all of us, because the Olympic family is the human family. It's the same dream we've carried in our hearts since 2002, and we hope to carry it forward to 2034 and beyond. I am a proud Olympian, daughter, wife, and mother. Looking back, even before I competed at 4 Olympic Winter Games, I realize how much my life, both ups and downs, have been shaped by the values of Olympism. I'm sure most of you feel the same way. This movement is a calling. It's a higher purpose, and I'm fortunate to be part of it. My role as board chair of our project is multifaceted in all aspects of our planning, but perhaps my most important role is to serve as a voice for our children, athletes, families, and communities. 3 young athletes from Utah, Kate, Orson, and Emma, are here today. They embody the values of sport on and off the field of play. The Youth Sports Alliance, formed as a result of the 2002 Games, introduced Kate to figure skating and Orson to luge, while Emma learned to speed skate at the Utah Olympic Oval, a legacy venue from 2002. These groundbreaking programs introduce sport to thousands of children of all backgrounds and ages throughout our communities. This is the type of tangible legacy we pioneered in 2002, and it's the type we will continue to create after 2034. Kate, Orson, and Emma are now training and competing, and who knows, maybe we'll see them on the ice in 2034. I hope so. Our ambition for youth sport is twofold. First, we want to use the 2034 Games to significantly expand the reach of our youth sport programs, just as we have for the past 2 decades. Second, we want to partner with similar organizations from around the world. We want to learn from each other to bring the very best of sport opportunities to all our children. Our ambition in sport has another key dimension. Did it surprise you to learn that athletes from over 30 nations currently train in our venues? Perhaps some of these athletes are from your countries, and we welcome them as they help to raise the bar of competitive excellence in sport. That's the foundation of our vision in 2034. Elevate everyone. Your decision here today isn't only about the Games in 2034. It's about reaffirming our collective commitment to future athletes everywhere. We want to help ensure that more youth from more nations can achieve their Olympic and Paralympic dreams for years to come. Thank you. And now, let's have a look at how these dreams can come alive.
She will compete in a sport that doesn't exist yet. They will break records previously thought impossible. He will land a trick that will become a classic. And she will win her country's first Winter Olympic medal ever, blazing a trail for more athletes from more countries. We don't know what stories 2034 will bring, but athletes across the globe are preparing to push the limits, raise the bar, redefine their sport. And when they're ready, we'll be ready. Ready to share our Olympic fire we grew from a flame. Ready to share the home we've built to elevate the Olympic experience of every athlete, their families, and fans from around the world. Creating a future where the Games themselves continue to evolve as much as the athletes. Because they will be at their best if we have done our best. Together, we won't just reach for greatness, we'll embrace it.
Hosting the 2002 Olympic and Paralympic Winter Games transformed our state and lifted our country and the world at a time we all needed to be together. We built extraordinary venues and experienced unforgettable memories. We welcomed the world to our ice and snow, and in return, you shared with us your hearts, your smiles, and your passion. And as we called it in 2002, your fire within. At the conclusion of the closing ceremony of the 2002 Olympic Games, I remember being on the roof of Olympic Stadium, watching fireworks light the mountain range that defines our city. It was a wonderful celebration of the world coming together. And for me, it was a dream come true. I really, and I mean really, didn't want that moment to end. Really. We have another dream of hosting the world again and having the opportunity for my state to give back in so many meaningful ways. I love this picture. It is of me and my grandson, Nate. He isn't even as tall as the sign. The words, "No easy way beyond this point," sometimes relates to the challenges we all encounter during our journey through life. Over the next 10 years, we will have great opportunities together to enrich our communities and the world. We will also face challenges, as we did in our experience with 9/11 just before our 2002 games. All worthy causes experience challenges. The question is what to do when challenged. Our opportunity in the face of any challenge is to work together, in collaboration, in partnership, to emerge stronger and better. In such situations, we have the opportunity to show the best of who we are, to live up to the values of excellence, respect, and friendship. You have Utah's absolute commitment to be with you side by side to face any challenge together. You will find us to be the best of partners. And finally, throughout our organizing committee's lifetime, we can bring together our team, our magnificent communities, and you, our wonderful partners, to impact the world for good. Our dream is that it can help bring unity, hope, and inspiration to a world in need of them. The games have the power to lift and change the heart and souls of each of us. And most importantly, how we see each other and treat each other for good. The games are a platform unlike any other in the world. If we learned anything from hosting in 2002, it is that hosting the games is a privilege. It's one that will resonate for years in our communities. And if we do it right, it can also bring joy and solidarity around the world. Everything is in place. We're ready to deliver extraordinary games, and we're ready to partner with you to take the movement forward. We're ready to give more Olympians and Paralympians from more countries the chance to shine, to inspire, and to take home a medal, as well as thousands of new fans or friends. And maybe, just maybe, to inspire one more child in a faraway land or a nearby Utah town to say to themselves, that's what I want to do when I grow up. Thank you, IOC members. We humbly submit our ambition to you and request your support in hosting the Olympic and Paralympic Winter Games of 2034. The people of Utah invite you. This concludes our presentation, and we are eager to answer any questions you may have. We return the floor to President Bach.
The presentation. And I now invite Mr. Karl Stoß, the chair of the Future Host Commission for the Olympic Winter Games, to deliver the closing remarks of the Commission.
Thank you, Mr. President, dear IOC members, friends and colleagues, distinguished guests from Utah and Salt Lake City, dear Governor Cox, dear Mayor Mendenhall, and all the committee. Welcome here in Paris. And it is now my privilege to present the final report for the Future Host Commission for the Olympic Winter Games in Salt Lake City, Utah, 2034, and to update you on developments since the publication of Commission's report and the IOC Executive Board meeting in June. For sport, Olympic Winter Games in Utah represents a fantastic opportunity. This very strong project benefits from an exceptionally high level of public and political support, as you have seen here at the presentation. The governor from Utah is from another party, the mayor of Utah, of Salt Lake City. But they have one goal: bring back the games to Salt Lake City, Utah. This is a clear mission, and we could feel it all the time when we went to Salt Lake City in Utah. On the games front, Salt Lake City, as we have just heard, has proven ability to deliver high-level sports competitions. 100% world-class existing or temporary venues, and opportunities for further extended the legacies of Salt Lake City 2002. During our visit, the Commission, and I would like to say thank you to all my fellow colleagues for your great support and great work. We have seen firsthand these excellent venues and to witness the immense experience and expertise that exists. Enthusiasm for the Games was always our feeling, from the first minute to the last minute. In every interaction we had, both at the venues and in all our meetings with athletes, sport leaders, politicians, and the private sector. As concerns the legal framework supporting the Games, I am pleased to report that the governor of Utah has confirmed that the Utah Olympic and Paralympic Games Act is consistent with the Olympic host contract. In addition, the Utah legislature was committed to put additional legislation in place to facilitate Games delivery and ensure the implementation of the Games delivery guarantee. In recent weeks, the Cam Gardner Policy Institute has published an independent study about the predicted economic impact of Olympic and Paralympic Games in Salt Lake City, Utah, 2034. The report estimates that 2034 Games would generate $6.6 billion for the state of Utah. This is due in part to the potential long lead to the Games from 2024 to 2034. And following the recent statements of Fraser and also Chin, for both of summer and winter sports federations, there has been an exchange of correspondence between myself as chair of the Future Host Commission and Salt Lake City, Utah 2034 leadership on this subject to the WADA Code. We have received a response confirming that Salt Lake City, Utah 2034 and the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee are 100% committed to compliance with the WADA Code, and that their dedication to clean sport and to the coordinated international anti-doping effort led by WADA is absolute. This has been further re-emphasized by the delegation this morning. Thank you for this clarification. In conclusion, and on behalf of the Future Host Commission, let me once more reiterate the many qualities of Salt Lake City, Utah 2034, which has met all requirements. And let me finish just 1 minute more with a personal story and personal experience. After our last visit in April, and after the final press conference, I went to the airport of Salt Lake City. I went in the departure hall, and just with hand luggage, and I went to an information desk and asked for my gate, departure gate. The man raised up his head, looked to me and said, "Hey, you are from the Olympics. Yes, man, bring it back. Bring back the Olympic Games to Salt Lake City." This is Salt Lake City, Utah. This concludes my report.
This is Karl Stoß at his best.
And he said me also, by the way, the departure gate is F14.
So thank you, Karl, for your very clear remarks, which complement the more detailed report provided to the IOC members during our last consultation conference with the friends from Salt Lake City, Utah, and which is also available to everybody's knowledge on the IOC's website. Dear friends and colleagues, you have seen the presentation of this great project. However, there remains one open question: the integrity of the fight against doping and of international sports. First of all, Mr. Ingmar de Vos, as the president-elect of the Association of the Olympic Summer Sports Federations, to take the floor. Mr. de Vos.
Thank you, Mr. President, dear colleagues and friends. First of all, of course, I would like to take the opportunity to congratulate Salt Lake City for the excellent and inspiring presentation, and of course our colleague Karl Stoß for his supportive and very motivating report. And I'm really convinced that Salt Lake City will be able to deliver excellent games. And thank you, President, for giving me the opportunity to share our concerns that are also very high on your agenda. And I hope that you forgive me that I go a little deeper into these concerns because these recent developments in the United States and the World Anti-Doping Agency are quite worrying. In my capacity as a representative of the Association of Summer Olympic International Federations in the WADA Executive Committee, I witnessed from close by how a case of food contamination of 23 Chinese swimmers in China has led to some events that, in my view, have potentially a very negative impact on sport and on our athletes. And I don't want to go too much in detail about the case itself, and I also happy to refer to the statement made by Aswaf less than 2 weeks ago. But it was clearly not a case of doping. And according to all the available evidence, scientific and otherwise, it was a case of no-fault environmental contamination, and the low levels of TMZ present could have given no performance enhancement to the athletes concerned. Such cases of environmental contamination happen regularly in all parts of the world and in different sports, including in the United States of America, where anti-doping organizations had closed cases of no-fault food contamination, and where WADA decided not to appeal such a no-fault contamination scenario. In this particular case, also the World Aquatics, sorry for the confusion with these acronyms nowadays, but World Aquatics came to the same conclusion. Despite being a simple case of contamination, WADA was accused by some stakeholder representatives and in the media of the worst possible thing an anti-doping organization can happen, namely that it would cover up cases of doping in order to favor a particular country or a group of athletes. With the Olympic and Paralympic Games in Paris on the horizon, WADA needed to act fast and appointed a highly respected independent prosecutor to examine the matter and to conduct a thorough review of WADA's handling of the matter. The interim conclusions of Mr. Cotier were presented on the 9th of July to the Executive Committee and were crystal clear. There was no evidence that WADA had showed favoritism, nor was there any interference or irregularity when WADA decided not to appeal the China decision. And this was considered as reasonable, both from the point of view of the facts and the applicable rules. Whereas we look forward to receive the final report of the independent prosecutor later this year, this will not change at all these conclusions, but we look forward to receive some recommendations for the future. But despite these very clear conclusions, the attempts to damage the reputation and credibility of WADA continued. And I really appreciated the diplomatic and conciliating approach of the American representative in the WADA Executive Board. But several United States initiatives based upon this case on Chinese, so consequently foreign soil, are extremely worrying and basically for us unacceptable. They are the result of the famous Rodchenko Act that we have already questioned many times in the past. The United States Congress hearing, letters from the United States Senate, a US federal criminal investigation regarding an anti-doping case on a foreign territory, the issuing of a subpoena to our colleague, the Executive Director of World Aquatics, to testify as a witness in a US investigation regarding this Chinese case, are clearly intended to undermine the role of WADA and the trust in the global anti-doping system. But it also undermines the integrity of the international sports competitions. This is especially very disappointing after the unanimous approval of the recent WADA governance reforms that, I believe, resulted in a stronger governance structure and strengthened the trust of the Olympic movement and the public authorities in the good governance of WADA and the credibility of the anti-doping system. And what to think about the recent declaration of the United States Anti-Doping Agency chief executive suggesting to the Associated Press that a federal investigation could make sport officials traveling to the United States fearful that they may have not to answer questions about their activities from the FBI. Regretfully, this is another example of the politicization of sport, the abuse of sport for political reasons and recuperation. What will be the impact on our events, on the events that international federations already allocated to the United States, and what should we think when we are considering the allocation of future events to the United States? And what is the risk that they are going to be impacted by another geopolitical crisis? I would have raised this question, of course, yesterday when we had a presentation from Los Angeles 28, but these games are already allocated and in full preparation, whereas we have to decide today on the allocation of Salt Lake City, and again, an excellent bid. I listened very carefully also when Gene Sykes yesterday spoke about global camaraderie, and I thank you for the very strong and clear statements that you made today, that you listened to our concerns, and that you take them very seriously. But we really need to understand what is going to happen in the future and where is this going to end. I know that the representatives here present of the United States National Olympic Committee and Salt Lake City most probably cannot provide today the firm guarantees we want or we need. Or maybe the governor and the major, above all the political parties, can help with this. But I believe that before taking the vote today, a clear statement on how our concerns will be addressed by concrete actions would be highly appreciated to put us back in our comfort zone, so that we can support this excellent and exciting bid, and so that your dream can come true, which is what I truly hope. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. De Vos, and I give now the floor to Mr. Jae-Yul Kim as the president of the International Skating Union. Mr. Kim.
Thank you, President. Dear Jean, dear Mr. Fraser Bullock, Governor Cox, Mayor Mendenhall, Danny, Lindsay, and Kathleen, thank you very much for your inspiring and emotional presentation. Before I put on my IF hat, your presentation remind me of the journey that I went through delivering the games in 2018. And it's so amazing to see your story, and thank you very much. I really appreciate it. As a president of International Federation, there's so many things that I love about your bid. Just to name a few, Salt Lake City is a great winter sports city that hosts many international events. For ISU, we go there at least twice a year for our events, and they are successful. More importantly, you have very compact and sustainable plan that is fully aligned with Agenda 2020 +5. And it's very assuring to see so many citizens of Utah camping out overnight to show their support. This is what Olympic is about. I really appreciate it. And if awarded, I'm sure that 2034 Games in Salt Lake City can provide unique Olympic experience for the athletes and for the fans, and inspire many young minds throughout the world. The Winter Olympic Federation, WOF, is excited about the prospects of returning to Salt Lake City 32 years after the successful 2002 Games, just as summer colleagues in this room are excited to be back in Paris after 100 years. And I also like to thank Jean and Mr. Bullock for addressing our concern regarding the recent development around anti-doping and WADA. I appreciate the strong commitment and the statement of Jean and Mr. Bullock. I briefly want to echo the concern raised by our colleague Igmar and emphasize the statement that WOF made on this topic recently. WOF welcomes the report of the independent prosecutor that there were no irregularities by WADA in handling the case related to Chinese swimmers. WOF also respects the decision of WADA Executive Committee to approve the independent report. We respect and support WADA as the supreme authority in the global fight against doping. Specific concerns that we have around this issue or the latest development is, one, the risk of non-compliance of the US with the World Anti-Doping Code, which could be detrimental to the sporting ecosystem. And the second, risk of undermining the solidarity of the global anti-doping system when countries start adopting their own individual approaches. And the third, risk of creating fear among officials and athletes traveling to the US. Salt Lake City is an amazing winter sports city. I personally love it. And there's a strong support for Salt Lake City 2034 by the Winter Federations. And again, I really appreciate, and I was happy to hear the strong commitment shown by Jean and Mr. Bullock, and your understanding, your full understanding of what we are worried about. So we hope that the sporting movements, public authorities, and all concerned parties in the US also understand and address the serious concerns that we have around this issue. And we are all committed to making our sports clean, so let's work together to achieve that goal with WADA. Thank you very much again for your excellent presentation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kim, and I now give the floor to Mr. Humphrey Kayange as athletes representative in the WADA Executive Board. Mr. Kayange.
Thank you. Dear Mr. President, dear colleagues, I would like to offer an athlete's perspective in light of the recent developments. Firstly, I want to congratulate Salt Lake City on their successful bid and impressive presentation. Your dedication to athletes and their families' experience being central to the Games is truly special and reflects why we all have a passion for sport. So thank you very much for that. The issue around the contamination case involving the 23 Chinese swimmers, which led to an investigation by an independent Swiss prosecutor, as earlier mentioned by my colleagues. The interim report was welcomed by the WADA Athletes Council for its clarity and transparency, which confirmed no wrongdoing on WADA's part. Both the WADA Athletes Commission and the IOC Athletes Commission appreciated WADA's openness to the recommendations made by the independent prosecutor, considering it an important step in rebuilding athletes' trust in the system. For the WADA AC and the IOC Athletes Commission, WADA and the anti-doping community, we must learn from this case and focus on strengthening the system. The WADA Athletes Council is actively listening to athletes' concerns and is open to the recommendations, improvements to the process, the code, and international standards. The IOC Athletes Commission is committed to collaborating with the WADA Athletes Council on this matter. Additionally, protecting athletes from leaking of their personal and sensitive data has been identified as an area that requires attention, as well as addressing concerns around the safety of athletes and the survival of the global anti-doping system. The implications of such actions could have far-reaching impacts on athletes from various parts of the world. It is imperative to uphold the fundamental principles of the fight against doping, which include the protection of athletes' health, respect, and fairness. These principles encompass not only adherence to rules, but also mutual respect and non-discrimination. As we approach the Olympic Games in Paris, the importance of unity and bringing the world together is more significant than ever. This call for unity is equally vital within the anti-doping community. WADA and the fight against doping should not be leveraged to create division, but rather to promote ethics in sport in support of Olympic values, to foster international cooperation, and to protect athletes' health and the integrity of clean athletes. Despite these concerns, and listening to Jean and Fraser earlier on, I am confident that with the support of the US OPC, LA 28, and the Salt Lake City's bid, we have ambassadors who uphold a unified global anti-doping system under the leadership of WADA, an important message to the athletes, and hope this will be echoed by more partners. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Kayange. This is the situation with which the Executive Board has been confronted and has been intensively discussed also with our friends from Salt Lake City, Utah, and in particular with US OPC and our friend Jean Sykes. We have been considering how we could best address this situation and have come to the conclusion that this could happen by amending the Olympic host city contract, because we firmly believe that this option would open the way for discussions amongst all stakeholders after the Olympic Games Paris 2024 to come to a satisfactory solution in the interest of the integrity of the fight against doping. And we all have heard the clear commitments of Salt Lake City, Utah, there this morning, and again of the president of USOPC, our friend Gene Sykes, to initiate and support such a discussion to come to a solution which is supported by all their stakeholders. Having said this, I would now like to invite our Vice President, Mr. John Coates, in his capacity as Chair of the Legal Commission, to explain a little bit in more detail this amendment to the Olympic host city contract which we had discussed together.
Thank you, Mr. President. Considering the issue in connection with WADA, USADA, and the US authorities, including Congress, the Redchenkov Anti-Doping Act, and considering that it's a must, I stress the word must, for the various authorities to fully respect the supreme authority of WADA, the IOC has reinforced the current language of the Olympic host contract in order to protect the integrity of the international anti-doping system and to allow the IOC to terminate the Olympic host contract if, and here I quote, in cases where the supreme authority of the World Anti-Doping Agency in the fight against doping is not fully respected, or if the application of the World Anti-Doping Code is hindered or undermined. Well, we are pleased to inform you that both the state of Utah and the USOPC have fully supported this addition and have already signed the Olympic host contract. But more than that is, and I say this in the knowledge and on the basis that verbal assurances and commitments are as binding as the written under the Olympic host contracts. The assurances, presentations you make in this, they're all being recorded. And they're as binding, and I particularly noted President Fraser Bullock and USOPC President Gene Sykes, a candidate for election as an IOC member later today. I noted to partnering with the IOC in the discussions that must, I say that word again, must be had with the various US authorities to ensure that they fully respect the supreme authority of WADA and that the application of the World Anti-Doping Code is not hindered or not undermined. We appreciated that, and we are very much looking forward to, as soon as possible after these Paris Games, working with you to achieve those statements. So, President, I hand the floor back to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Coates. And now I'm opening the floor to you, my dear colleagues and friends, for any questions you may have. Monsieur Guidru.
Oui, thank you, Mr. President. Now, as many French people speak English here, I try to do the same, above all out of consideration for our friends of Salt Lake City, American friends. Fraser Bullock, congratulations. Congratulations to you and to your team for the quality of your presentation. And I take the occasion as a veteran gold medalist to say hello to our friends who are around you now on the floor. Be sure that you invite us to come into your dream. You need a big place, because we are a lot of. Just some words to my friend, our friend, Anita de France. We all knew and appreciate the experience of Anita, IOC experience, and especially games organization experience. Thank you, Anita, to prove, if necessary, that summer athletes, especially when it is for your country, to prove that the summer athletes can love the winter games. And you know me, Mr. President, some funny words to conclude. Before, when I hear the name of Bullock, Sandra was coming on my eyes. Now it will be Salt Lake City. Thank you.
Mrs. Sari Essayah.
Dear President, dear colleagues, I would also like to start by congratulating Salt Lake City 2034 on their excellent bid. It was so great to hear that 80% public support is there for the Games. It's exceptionally high. And also it was so nice to hear about the legacy of the Salt Lake City 2002. Also that the existing venues which can be used tomorrow, this is really great from the sustainability perspective. And also the promise to take care of the families of the athletes. That's great too. But then we hear some concerns from our colleagues, and these concerns heard by our colleagues are real, and we must not ignore them. But we also heard very strong and determined commitments from our colleagues that the US OPC LA 2028 and the Salt Lake City 2034 will do everything to ensure the Olympic values and the university of the Games. And these are celebrated and respected in the United States. I was also encouraged by the word of Fraser Bullock and our colleague Jean Sykes, who both expressed strong support for WADA and the global anti-doping system. And I welcome EB recommendation to strengthen the host city contract, allowing us to remote the Games should WADA, supreme authority in the protection of clean sport, not be respected. The fact that the bidding committee has already accepted these new conditions is a further guarantee that Salt Lake City 2034 will be a celebration of university and friendship. And for these reasons and the exceptionally of the bid, I support Salt Lake City 2034, and I trust that all my colleagues here also will recognize that the recommendations of our board is the pragmatic course of action. This project is a great example of legacy fully aligned with the ambitions of the IOC. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Essayah. Mrs. Britta Heidemann.
Thank you so much for your presentation, which was excellent. I also want to refer to the athlete family program that Lindsay referred to. Speaking from an athlete's perspective, I think that this is far overdue. And we have experienced here in Paris with Tony Estanguet as an athlete being head of taking care of the athletes' wishes. I think Lindsay go on with that, and it's excellent that you are bringing forward such ideas, and the athletes will thank you for that, and I'm happy to hear that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Heidemann. Princess Rima.
Thank you, Governor Cox, for what a spectacular presentation, and Lindsay and the whole team. In my time in the United States, what I've recognized is the separation of organizations that you have that are responsible for either legislation, regulation, and I would highly encourage the Olympic Committee and the great state of Utah to really work with the Olympic Committee and its experts, perhaps to come and visit your congressmen and your senators to explain the processes and the impacts, perhaps, of some of their decisions. I understand that the United States of America operates under the rule of law magnificently, and this organization is here to support you. Your venues are exceptional, your people are wonderful, and I could imagine no better place than Salt Lake City to host these games. So please consider this organization at your service to help you really achieve the goal of not only excellence in sports, which we all know that you have, but to help create the legislative environment through your Congress that can actually support and not only allow you to excel, but be a leader in what we all know can be true of these games that will happen in Salt Lake City. So I send you many good wishes, and to the good people of Utah.
Thank you very much. Madame El Moutawakel.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Thank you to the entire team for a wonderful presentation, which I listened very carefully, and I really highly appreciated each and every input that came from each and every one of you. I attended the games back in 2000, early 2000, right after the 9/11, and it was a really a bad souvenir for all of us. And I still remember when we had to go to the games. It was really complicated entering the country at that moment because of security processes, and I still remember some IOC members from our family attended those games, but at the airport spending endless hours and hours. I know security is at the top of our priorities, and it's even #1 priority to have the games be a successful event. So I know time passed by, and it's been a long time, but security is always #1 and should stay #1. And just to make things go swifter and very nicely, I'm just asking about the visa process. I'm sure you will do all you can to, just like in 2028 LA Games, to make every country's athletes enter securely, swiftly, not spending endless hours in the airport. I'm sure you will make all kinds of efforts to make that happen. One more time, congratulations for your presentation. We're so proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madame El Moutawakel. Mr. Luis Mejia.
Gracias, Presidente. Thank you very much, President. I'll speak in Spanish. Este caso tiene una. I think that. Me voy a referir fundamentalmente a los. Perhaps I should refer to the points made by Mr. De Vos. And he was speaking on behalf of the international federations as new president. And he said that there was a distinction to be made. He said there was a presentation on Salt Lake City, which has just been completed. It was a dynamic presentation and one which we all really liked. This presentation is a source of pride as to what could be done when organizing our Olympic Games. But there is also a frontier, a barrier, where you've got principles and also the principle of respect that belongs to it. And what has just happened with WADA, which is the main authority to which we delegated responsibility to deal with questions of anti-doping. And that is an organization whose principles have to be respected. You cannot have a single nation that takes the privilege of being above all the laws.
Suerte que esto 10 días antes, esto que ocurrió con los nadadores.
Now, we know what happened 10 days ago with the swimmers. All our federations are deserving of respect. And I think it is exactly the International Olympic Committee. All the things we do are based on principles. What concerns me is that suddenly it may appear that there are authorities that go beyond the international organizations or try to supersede them. It could be any authority in our organization that could take things to a court of justice. I think this has to be something that we are fully aware of, because in the next decades, in the next 10 years, we're going to give the authority to Los Angeles to organize the Summer Games. And I also voted as the Commission. We also have given our approval to 2034 for Salt Lake City. So the organization, the movement, has always believed in the United States, has always believed in your athletes, and there was a fantastic presentation that you made. But at the same time, I think we need to call attention to the fact that there is a distinction that needs to be made, and all our laws must be taken into account. And I'm very happy that John Coates presented an amendment. And I believe that this is something which needs to be respected. We've got to ensure that our organization, that our athletes respect the codes that have been accepted at the international level, which is the one that has been done by WADA, and also the question of anti-doping. So we need to separate the different things. I think we need to welcome the presentation, but I did want to express my concern. I think that we need to ensure that we respect all these principles and accept our responsibilities. But I would like to finish by saying congratulations to Salt Lake City for the presentation, but I did want to express my concern. Thank you, President. Thank you, Mr. Mejia.
No more requests for questions. Therefore, I hand over to our friends from Salt Lake City, Utah, to answer the questions and comments.
Thank you, President, and thank you all of the members who have offered their perspectives and raised questions. So on the broad issue of the respect for WADA, I want to offer some comments and then make a commitment to all of you. On behalf of all of the organizations that you've seen in the past couple of days, LA, Salt Lake City, the USOPC, we are committed to fostering WADA's authority, as WADA's authority is crucial for the opportunity to provide clean sport for athletes and give them confidence that they can be protected. So our view is that this is of paramount importance, and we take your concerns very seriously. There were a few comments about the recommendations that will come in the final report from the investigator, Mr. Cotier, as well as the recommendations in the report of World Aquatics. Those recommendations offer us some opportunity to begin a dialogue and begin the process of solving this issue. And we are committed to solving this issue. We will do that. We respect the treatment that we've had, the very open conversations and dialogue, and we certainly accept the obligations and responsibility inherent in the amendment to the Olympic host contract. So from our perspective, we take very seriously to heart all of your comments, and we pledge to you that we will be good partners and we will support with you this very, very important institution. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sykes. Mr. Fraser Bullock.
Yes, thank you, Jean. Thank you, President Bach. We've been at this for 22 years. And something like this happens. It has nothing to do with us, but it has to do with our country, and it has to do with the Olympic movement and the Paralympic movement. And so we've got to get this right. And when I look at the situation right now, we need to bridge the gap and bring everybody together. And the genius of the amendment in the host city contract brings pressure to make that happen. We can be a catalyst. And as the governor talks about, we roll in Utah, we have the Utah way where we can help in our way bring parties together to work on this problem now. And you have our commitment to do so, and you have ultimate protection in the amendment to the host city contract. So we implore you to make our journey, which has been 22 years, as we move forward, one that we can celebrate now and continue to work forward together. Thank you.
Thank you, President Bach, and to all of you for your concerns. As governor of the state of Utah, I just wanted to share a couple things that I think are important. Let me start by saying that we also decry the politicization of sports and what we're seeing, not just in our country, but in other places across the globe. We want you to know that we are your allies in this process, that of course transparency and accountability are important in the fight against doping, and we support WADA in every way possible. I also just have to say it's easy to say to talk about the problem and to say we understand the concerns. Sometimes we admire the problem, but it's more than that. We are committed to actually fixing the problem. And our commitment to you is that we will use the politics of our offices, the mayor and I, together to work with the current administration and whatever future administration, federal government with elections happening in the United States, that we will work, excuse me, with our members of Congress, that we will use all the levers of power open to us to resolve these concerns. We will work with, again, whoever the President of the United States is starting in January of next year, that we will work closely with them to alleviate your concerns and to make any changes that are necessary to make that happen. So we are fully committed, not just saying it on stage, but committed in purpose and in practice to alleviating the concerns that you have, bringing us
Thank you very much, Salt Lake City, Utah, for your clear words. Dear friends and colleagues, before we proceed now with the vote, let me try to summarize this discussion, this very healthy and open discussion among friends. And I say clearly among friends, because as you have been outlining, the issues under discussion are in no way caused by Salt Lake City, Utah, or USOPC, or by the state of Utah, or by the city of Salt Lake City, or by the population of Utah, you really, as Fraser Bullock has explained, you have nothing to do with this. And it is very unfortunate, and I'm sorry for you and for us that this issue arose now at the time when it comes to your election. You do not only have nothing to do with this, I think you were also extremely clear in your commitment to the integrity of the international fight against doping and the supreme authority of WADA. Established and whose rules have been set in full agreement with the United States of America at the time, and where the United States of America is duly represented there in the different boards. But you have not only made your verbal commitment, you have also shown that you are really standing for a clean sport and for a commitment to promote a clean sport and to assist and maybe be a catalyst even to find a way out of this unfortunate situation, which again nobody in the Olympic movement appreciates, and we are all looking forward how to get out of this. And there having you at our side is very well appreciated. We also have been taking note of your brilliant presentation and of a fantastic Olympic project. I may say it's very easy to sell such a project. You need not to be a brilliant marketeer to present such a fantastic Olympic project, which is indeed offering the best conditions possible for the athletes and for everybody interested in the Olympic Games, and this in particular in times when we have to address different challenges with regard to winter sport and the Olympic Winter Games. So weighing up all this issue which has been risen, the presentation, the project, the amendment to the host city contract in cooperation and full agreement, then this leads the IOC Executive Board to propose to you, my dear friends and colleagues, to elect the Salt Lake City, Utah 2034 as the host of the 27th Olympic Winter Games 2034. And for the vote, I'm handing over to the IOC Director General.
Thank you, President. The smart card will now be distributed by the IOC administration while the Salt Lake City delegation is taking their seats. So we will proceed with the vote. The subject matter of the vote is, do you agree to elect Salt Lake City, Utah 2034 as the host of the 27th Olympic Winter Games 2034? In accordance with Rule 18.5.1, the following members may not take part in the vote. This is Ms. Anita de France and Mr. David Agati. Both are asked to hand in the smart card to a member of the staff, and the smart card will be returned to you after the vote. So does everyone have a voting keypad and a smart card? Not yet, I see. Wait a few seconds more. So everyone apparently has a keypad and a smart card. So this is the case, then I'm going to request the opening of the vote. The vote is now open. Can you please help Mrs. Lindberg? Gunilla, all fine? So did everyone have the opportunity to vote? See no hands, so I'm going to declare the vote closed. The vote is now closed.
Sports one. Come on, man. He's legal in Utah now. Did you catch that? You're tossing with John. What? Tossing with John. I'm not talking to Joe. You were tossing to what I did after you did. That's what I'm talking to. When did we hit? They want a crowd shot.
Dear friends and colleagues, dear Salt Lake City, Utah delegation, the International Olympic Committee has the honor to announce that the 27th Olympic Winter Games 2034 are awarded to Salt Lake City, Utah. Before we invite the governor of Utah to say some words, may I inform you about the result of the voting. There were 95 votes, 6 abstentions. That makes 89 valid votes. The majority from the valid votes is 45 yes, 83 no, 6. Salt Lake City, Utah is brilliantly elected as host. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the lectern the Governor of Utah, who will address the 142nd IOC session.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Utah delegation and 3.4 million people back in the state of Utah, we want to thank you for your kindness and generosity today. This has been a long process for us. This represents the end of a long process, coming before you, making our presentation and receiving your trust. And we recognize it as a serious obligation that we take upon ourselves today to host the Winter Olympics again. In 2002, you, the Olympic and Paralympic movement, did something for us. You gave us something very special. You gave us an opportunity. You put us on the world stage for the first time, and you made us proud. Now it is our turn to give something back to you, to the Olympic and Paralympic movement. Our commitment is that now the journey begins again for us, that we will work incredibly hard over the next 10 years to solve the concerns with WADA, but there is so much more than that. Our commitment to you is that we will work to unify not just the United States of America, but the entire world around sports again. Our world needs the Olympic and Paralympic movement now more than ever, and we will make you proud. To the people celebrating back home, we're back, baby. The Olympics are coming back to Utah. Thank you.
May we kindly ask the Salt Lake City, Utah presenters to come back on stage for a group photo. Thank you.
All right, they're going to take a group photo. We know how that goes and what that looks like, so we will take it back here. A big announcement. Salt Lake City is getting the Winter Olympics in 2034. There was more to unpack in that presentation in terms of the news that was happening there than we may have expected. Talking about anti-doping, those sorts of things. We will be unpacking that as the morning goes on. But for now, we want to soak in what just happened in terms of Salt Lake City getting those games. And for that, we go to our own Scott McCain, who is in Washington Square. Scott, we were watching as the crowd heard that announcement. Give us, from your perspective, what you heard, what you've been experiencing there.
Yeah, good morning, Max. A lot of folks sleep deprived. There would have been thousands of people downtown anyways for the parade. Many more coming down for this announcement, kind of making it part and parcel to the Pioneer Day celebration. And it's just a situation where folks were, you know, they brought down families. You've got folks floating around, some OGs wearing their 2002 gear, berets, hats, and coats. And you've got a large chunk of the crowd here, many of whom weren't even born the last time we had the Olympic Games. You've got, you know, all kinds of anticipation. You know, it was really the most kept secret going forward. Pretty much everyone knew that this was going to happen, but now that it's over, it's official, and we're less than 10 years out. The countdown is on for 2034. And, you know, the good news is there's a lot of work that's already been done. A lot less to do than last time.
Everybody wants to know what would happen if we didn't win. I guess we'll never know!
Folks, especially those who work in experiences for the first time. When you get up this early and do this, yeah, these folks got what they came for. We're going to talk it over to Max. And Max, yeah, big day here.
All right, Scott, and we're going to work on some of those audio issues there so we can make sure we hear better what you have to say. But we want to also go to John Franke, who is in Paris. He's right across the street from where that announcement was made. And John, from your perspective, what have you seen? What have you heard? What's happening there?
Good morning, Max. I can tell you we've actually moved. We are just adjacent to the building where that vote took place moments ago. What we're expecting here is certain members of the Utah delegation to come out walking, and we'll talk to them one by one. I know the governor will be out here, Mayor Aaron Mendenhall, Fraser Bullock as well, and also Lindsey Vaughn. So we'll get their thoughts on their presentation and what the IOC said with the allegations against USADA and whatnot. So we'll get all that reaction coming up in a little bit, but right now we're in this compound, kind of like in the basement of the Palais de Congrès, and we're just waiting for the folks to come out the door. There's a line of press here waiting to talk to people, and when they do come out, we'll talk to them and bring that all to you live here from Paris. But an exciting morning. The games are coming back to Utah in 2034, and I think for those of us who are big fans of the games and think it's such a great event, I think a lot of us around the state this morning and here in Paris are excited.
All right, John Franke, and we will let you, what we call wrangle those interviews. We know that you've got some work to do there, and we look forward to going back to you and hearing from those folks. What I do want to say, John was referring to WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency. And boy, we heard a lot more about that than anything else during not the Utah presentation, which lasted a half an hour and was very well put together and very slick and clearly with the expectation Utah would get the games. But in April, the U.S. news media found out about some Chinese athletes who had tested positive for a performance-enhancing chemical. That was from a previous game, Chinese swimmers. And some of them won gold medals, but the WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, investigated, decided that it was just an environmental contamination, not an intentional consuming of those. And so they allowed those results to stand and also did not make public those allegations. And so the U.S. responded by the Department of Justice actually issuing subpoenas to investigate that themselves. And so there's some real concern on the international level, and Utah finding out, and Utah now having to live with an amended contract, which says that if the IOC is not satisfied with how U.S. officials are dealing with that, then they could pull the games. So a very serious thing, but again, not the most likely scenario, and so I wanted to explain that before we go out and cover more of the celebrations. We're going to go to Breck Bolton. Breck is there at the parade route this morning. Not a parade for the Olympics, but certainly a whole lot of people interested in the Olympics there, Breck. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are people saying?
Well, Max, you're right. We're here on the parade route. We're at First South, Second East, and we're here with the Kiowa family. Good morning. Yeah, this family excited getting the announcement. We actually were able to tell them, hey, it's all official. Salt Lake City getting the 2034 Winter Olympics. We're all excited here, but yeah, we're on the parade route. Right here is Lisa joining me. Now, I'm looking at you, say maybe 2002 you were still around here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you remember most about the 2002 Winter Olympics?
Just the excitement downtown, you know, just the busyness of everything, and yeah.
Yeah. And what are you excited about your kids and grandkids to experience the next Olympics?
That they'll all be adults and I'll be able to tell them how to make money off of it.
Okay, there you go. An opportunity for the future generations, right? Yeah. Now, we're here on the parade route. This is why you're here. When did you get here to get some?
We got here around 4.
Okay, so 4 yesterday afternoon, and you guys have not slept. At least I haven't seen you. I've been here for 2 hours. You just keep going strong.
Yeah.
And how many years have you been coming to the parade?
Since 2010, so 14 years.
14 years,
yeah.
Wow. And of course, you're getting your kids and grandkids involved with this. And we still have a few hours left before the parade. Are we going to get any shut-eye? No. You guys going to sleep at all? No. Okay. So it's an exciting time. And with this, you know, just so you can see, I'm ready for the Pioneer Parade here. So I've got this hat, but look at this. Do you remember this?
Yes.
The old Roots beret. Look at that. I don't know if that looks good. You like that look there? Yeah, this is what we wore. This was the cool, hot item to get back in 2002. Maybe we'll get one that has the 2034 print there, but I'm excited for the Winter Olympics. We're excited for this day. Of course, honoring the pioneers, celebrating their entrance to the Salt Lake Valley, and now we get the entrance of the Winter Olympics back here to Salt Lake City. So an exciting time. We're feeling it. We'll keep the buzz going here throughout the morning. We'll send it back to you, Max.
It was a time of tremendous excitement. The athletes have been practicing and planning for these days for their entire careers.
How far back do you remember? You probably remember the games in 2002. But before that, do you remember the excitement? The scandal?
The fund paid out several $100,000 in tuition.
The big win?
To the city of Salt Lake City.
And the many losses before it? I'm Fox 13 News reporter Spencer Joseph, and as our journey starts towards 2034, let's take a look back at how this all played out the first time. The year is 1965, and Utah had a population of under 1 million people. As the crossroads of the West, it was first the idea of Governor Calvin Rampton to form the first bid committee. The hope was to secure the 1972 Olympics, which ultimately went to Sapporo, Japan. Utah would try and fail several more times, with the 1998 Games narrowly being awarded to Nagano, Japan, by a vote of 46-42. With resolve, Utah went back to the drawing board, and with actions that would later become scandalous. 4 years later, it was up for consideration again.
To the city of Salt Lake City.
The announcement came live from Budapest, Hungary at 11:23 this morning.
This was the scene June of 1995, as Salt Lake learned it would be the host of the 2002 Winter Olympics. Crowds in Washington Square celebrated all day long as members of the bid committee celebrated in Budapest, Hungary. The stage was set.
Then the whirlwind began.
The state had 7 years to get ready, expand infrastructure, build every venue, and prepare for the rush of those from around the world to descend.
Today, Salt Lake City stands ready to mobilize the resources of this nation.
But in just a few years into the process, there was a big problem.
In a release statement from Switzerland, Frank Jocklick, the president of the Salt Lake Organizing Committee, apologized. The fund paid out several $100,000 in tuition for 6 IOC relatives.
In 1998, word of several scandals broke.
Meanwhile, Intermountain Healthcare is also defending its actions. In 1994, IHC provided free surgeries and medical care for 2 associates of the IOC.
We certainly have a public responsibility to ask questions.
It tainted our bid.
There are also the shocking allegations of multi-million-dollar bribes.
And the decision to give Utah the games.
We've pledged our full support to be as forthcoming as possible.
10 IOC members ultimately resigned or were expelled for accepting money and gifts. The local committee was also left without leadership. That was until...
He's going to be inside here. My name is Mitt Romney with the Salt Lake Organizing Committee. I think all of us are thrilled at the opportunity to host the world, to have 80 nations come to the United States of America and experience these games.
Mitt Romney stepped up to right the ship.
They'd be radioing up to the top of the mountain saying...
With the games back on track from 1998 to 2001, the venues went up. Volunteers lined up to lend a hand. In the meantime, I-15 was widened. The first UTA tracks train started carrying people around. And a very special delivery was being made at Rice-Eccles Stadium. With the games back on track, it was time for the torch to start its journey.
Lance Armstrong and Muhammad Ali hoist up the Olympic flame for all to see.
But just before it could start making its way across the country, tragedy struck. The events of September 11th, 2001 were just 6 months before the games were set to kick off.
I carried this flame in honor of my heroes.
Right now, given the sense of seriousness and loss in our country, I think it has a more profound meaning. It connects us with the world.
The symbolism of the torch shifted from one of tradition to one of unity.
Organizers have been asking people impacted or victimized by the attacks to carry the torch. People like Norman Wallstrom of Kaysville.
There are more countries than ours that were affected by September 11, and I think we need to do what we can, not just as Americans, but as inhabitants of this world, to come together a little bit.
I'm just heading straight for Deer Valley right now.
Focus on security around the games was also heightened.
Security officials have long feared that this is the place where international terrorists might try and make a name for themselves in 2002.
But in the final stretch, milestones were being hit.
Every one of our permanent venues is done.
Finishing touches on places like the Utah Olympic Park, Rice-Eccles Stadium, Snow Basin, downtown, and many more were done. And the crowds came in droves. From February 8th to the 24th, the Games hosted 2,400 athletes from 78 countries, with the world watching.
Please open your coats and remove the medals from your pockets.
The Games went smooth, and when all was said and done, there were millions of dollars in surplus.
Perhaps you haven't read the press clippings, but you guys got rave reviews.
And as the flame was extinguished, the experience left most asking,
are the Olympics coming back here?
It could happen. We could do it well. We'd do it even better than we did, which I think almost everyone in the world agrees was the best ever held.
Spencer Joseph, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Games, just to let you know.
All right, Scott McCain in Washington Square, downtown Salt Lake City. Scott, I don't know if you heard a bright young reporter, Scott McCain, reporting on the 2002 games there, and now I toss out to a wise young reporter, Scott McCain, in Washington Square. How was that announcement out there, and how are things going right now?
Max, and yeah, I mean, very similar to 1995. I was lucky enough to be here then. But we've got a whole new generation of young folks who either weren't alive or were very young when this happened. Zach Miller's joining us now live. Zach, you weren't alive in 1995. You were a toddler in 2002, but you're a Paralympian snowboarder hoping to compete in 2034. What was it like for you to be here this morning?
Well, it's incredible. Obviously, the energy here is electric. The crowd was so energetic. So, yeah, it is pretty cool now that I'll be able to hopefully compete at home games and have something to look forward to in the next 10 years.
You know, you grew up a snowboarder, it sounds like. You know what's ahead of you training-wise, but to have the support of the home country and your hometown behind you, what's that like?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the dream, is to compete at home, right? You know, and even to win at home. I mean, that's what it's all about. So I know this is really going to put a pep in my step, you know, to train over the next 10 years. And I also know it's going to be a really big driving factor for the next generation of the younger athletes, too, that are coming up through the pipeline. I mean, knowing that you have a home games coming and I mean, it's gonna be a big deal for a lot of us. So.
Above and beyond training, my guess is you'll probably be out in local schools drumming up enthusiasm amongst the young people in the state. You know, our population is estimated to have doubled by 2034 as opposed to 2002. A lot of young people are going to be out there. Is part of your mission as well to drum up that enthusiasm?
Absolutely. I mean, Paralympic snowboarding got its debut in 2014, so I got to watch that happen, and then I missed the 2018 games by 0.04 of a second, and then I got to realize my Paralympic dreams in 2022. So I know what it means to kind of see the Paralympic and Olympic Games evolve into what it is now, which means it's going to be so cool to see what it becomes over the next 10 years. And I think it's going to be cool just to be a part of that whole journey and to get fired up with everyone else.
And you're part of a team based mostly in Park City, in and around the area. This has to be infectious for all of them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm talking to a lot of the athletes that train here and up in Park City, and everyone's so jazzed on it. So, I know that the energy is only going to get higher as we get closer.
This was really not a well-kept secret. I think we all knew the outcome, but when you finally hear the games have been awarded to Salt Lake City, what did that do to you?
I mean, it's a breath of fresh air. Like, it's official, the games are coming back to Salt Lake City. So I think now it's just, enjoy it. We're gonna, spend all day partying today, and then, I mean, over the next 10 years, it's really just gonna be about like getting your head down and doing everything you can. I mean, 2034, if I can make it to those games, that would basically be the crowning jewel and the finishing touch to an amazing career.
Go home, get some rest, and start your training. Zach Miller, thank you for joining us. And we're gonna toss it over to you, John Franke, over in Paris. It has been a wild morning here, a lot of enthusiasm. I would imagine maybe a little more subdued there, not as many Utah supporters, but still pretty exciting.
All right, and we are going to go out to John Franke. And John, I can see that you are with Mayor Erin Mendenhall. Let's hear what she has to say.
Yes, we are joined live this morning with Mayor Erin Mendenhall. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you. We're so happy.
I have to ask you, what is going through your mind now? I mean, this has been such a years-long process. How'd you guys get it done?
Decades long, and it has been a beautiful morning. It was not straightforward, and we were ready because the way that we've approached this with partnership, transparency, hard work, and really a commitment to elevating the world through the games has always been at the forefront of our work, and it came through very clearly, I think, today.
Were you guys expecting all that presentation on WADA?
Yes, somewhat. We're aware of the developments about 10 days ago that have happened with the Department of Justice. And as was said over and over and by the President Bach today, it really had nothing to do with Utah and the Salt Lake City bid here, but it was the context of where our nation is at and some decisions made at the federal level. We're prepared to be partners in addressing this because anti-doping is absolutely critical to sport.
I know today's the day to celebrate, but now the work for you is just getting started. What do you guys in your office have to do to get Salt Lake ready to host the world in 9.5 years?
Salt Lake City is doubling our downtown population anyway. We've been addressing climate change at a broad level, and we're going to keep doing that. And we want to raise the quality of life for our rapidly growing population across the state regardless. All of these things really complement the games, and the kind of growth that we're going to see will make a better 2034 games. We want to see Main Street become a pedestrian corridor. We'd like to see a green loop developed as a park space around the downtown, and we want a plaza that sticks around longer than it did last time.
Now, we've been told that there are hundreds, maybe thousands of people downtown at the watch party. What's your message to them this morning?
I'm so glad you're there. That was the most heartfelt, meaningful part for me when they flashed to that live screen at Washington Square. It's hard to choke back the tears because we could feel the excitement and the love. It's in our DNA, and love you all for being there. We're bringing the games back home.
I see you tearing up now. It's an emotional day, isn't it?
It is. It is. There's been a lot of hard work. I think our team performed really well, but it's really the people of the state of Utah and Salt Lake City, and we heard that from our IOC partners. The venues are great, but our people are better, and that's what resonates.
Well, Mayor, I know a lot of folks here want to talk to you. Thank you so much for taking the time, and again, congratulations.
Thank you.
And that's Salt Lake City Mayor Erin Mendenhall, and it's an exciting day, guys, as Salt Lake City is going to have the Olympics in less than 10 years, 9.5 years. Max, back to you.
All right, John, thank you so much. This is it's a day of excitement, as John was saying, and the mayor saying there. The mayor also acknowledging a day where there were some curveballs thrown, and we are going to be covering that as well. The celebration, a lot of excitement, but also Utah is kind of thrust into the middle of an international debate over anti-doping and over the authority of an international organization as compared to justice here in the U.S. That is going to be something that we're going to be digging into as the days go on. But for today, we're soaking in that decision that we've been awaiting for so long. Well, there's so much more content coming up. Stay tuned to hear more from our crews out on the ground in Paris and right here in Utah. We're going to be right back.
You're going to love this.
Oh, it means business.
Yeah, that would do it.
Buckle up, big boy.
Only 3 out of 10 Americans got this question right. What happened?
I got the wrong answer.
Do not feel ashamed. You're as stupid as I am. Big questions, big prizes, and big balls. Your hair got wet.
This is MasterChef Generations.
The millennials have arrived!
Since I've always thrived in competition, this time I got some of my own.
The more worried you are, the happier I am. Game on.
We need you to remember the lyrics of the song.
I can name that tune in one note.
Let's give away $1 million! It's a competition.
I am Vanderpumped up.
That's what I want to hear.
Summer weather is getting more extreme. Now more than ever, preparedness is the key, and Utah's Weather Authority is ready. Here to navigate you through any climate curveballs.
An excessive heat watch.
Climb into record territory. Possibility of a heat wave.
Our temperatures go back up.
It's going to be a great season.
For the most complete and comprehensive weather coverage this summer, turn to Utah's Weather Authority, only on Fox 13 News.
Now you can watch TV for free. That's right, free with Tablo. Buy a Tablo and you can watch and record all your favorites on the top networks and many more for free. Here's what our customers are saying.
Switching to Tablo has really been a money saver. We are able to connect it to our Wi-Fi very seamlessly. It shows just like a TV guide on our TV. We're able to record our shows that we want to watch.
I do like my sports. With Tablo, I can record something on my phone. I can pause it. I can go get a drink, come back. I can continue in the family room. It's very flexible. Without a monthly subscription is amazing.
Tablo was so easy to set up. It was amazing that I could do that with no technology skills.
Get a Tablo total system with a device and TV antenna at an incredible low price. You'll also receive free shipping and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Tablo. Pay once and watch forever. Order now at tablotv.com or these popular retailers.
Get 2 helpings of Gordon Fox Wednesday. First,
Ready to become America's next MasterChef?
the battle between generations
I'm a millennial. I'm not worried about a thing.
Classic Gen X overachiever.
has begun.
Which generation is going to win it all?
Then, Ramsey and Vanderpump are searching for the next big food star.
Good luck.
I'd like to say good luck, but I'll be lying.
It's the summer's biggest battle.
You're scared now. You're scared.
No.
You're scared. Yeah.
Wednesday beginning at 7 on Fox 13. Amy Nay, weekends, only on Fox 13 News.
All right, you are looking at a live picture. The reason that the torch is burning at Rice-Eccles Stadium is because Salt Lake City was awarded the Winter Olympics for 2034. The big announcement coming from Paris, where the Summer Olympics are about to start this week, and the IOC was meeting, hearing pitches from committees of various games, including Los Angeles in 2028, awarded those games. And then they also announced today that the 2030 games, those games preceding those that we will be hosting in Utah, that those games are going to be awarded to the Alps, to the French Alps. And so that will be, that's a beautiful area. It will be fun to watch. Now we're going to go to John Franke, who I understand, John, you have someone there with you.
I have an Olympic gold medalist with us. We are so lucky to have Lindsey Vonn with us this morning. Lindsey, thank you for being with us today, and congratulations.
Thank you. We are so excited. This is such a big day, such a big moment. You know, everyone has worked so hard for Salt Lake to get the games back in 34, and now we finally have it confirmed, and we can all start working hard on making it one of the best Olympics ever.
Why did you want to come back and be a part of this committee to bring the games back to Utah?
I mean, 2002 was my first Olympics. You know, it was right after 9/11. It was such an emotional games, you know, walking to the opening ceremonies. The energy was so electric, and I felt so unified. And to be able to have everything come full circle and for me to help bring the games back is just, it's an honor. And I love the Olympics. It's what I grew up dreaming about, and I hope that this nomination inspires so many Americans and people from Utah to want to be an Olympian and just to want to be better, you know, just striving for greatness and whatever that means for you.
I have to ask, you know, people in Utah say greatest snow on earth. You're the best judge of that. Is it truly the greatest snow on earth?
I mean, I think I have to say yes. Yeah, I think I do. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I would say that's correct.
What's it like for you to come back to the Olympic Games?
It's always special. You know, once an Olympian, always an Olympian. It's probably one of the biggest privileges I've had in my life to represent our country. And when I come back, I'm always emotional. You know, when you hear the Olympic theme song, I pretty much always cry. To see, you know, an American standing on top of the podium and hearing our national anthem, it's just, you know, those times as an athlete go by so fast that the fact that I can come back and, you know, cheer on other athletes and have that experience as a spectator is incredible.
Now, we heard a lot of talk in there about doping. As a former athlete, what does that mean to you to make sure the game is fair for everybody?
Oh, I'm 100% in support of, you know, making sure we have clean sports. It's something that was always a priority for me in my career, and now, you know, as we have the Olympics coming back to Salt Lake, you know, we have to be the example, and we should be the example. And so I know that we have everyone's support, and, you know, obviously we have an amazing leadership group. So we're going to make sure this is a clean, safe, and amazing Olympics.
And I know it seems like it's a long time away, 9.5 years, but really, it's not that far. It'll be before we know it.
It's really not that long. I mean, I felt like I was racing in 2002 yesterday, and clearly wasn't. So I think, you know, we'll blink an eye, and it'll be there.
Lindsey Vonn, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much, and again, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Go Utah! Let's go!
Such a privilege to have a gold medalist on our air this morning, guys. Lindsey Vonn joining us here. We'll have more interviews throughout the morning. Fraser Bullock's off to my left. The governor is off to my right. So we'll be back in just a few seconds with more interviews for you.
John, that is so great to hear, and we're going to continue to go back to you for everything that you have to offer there. Lindsey Vonn, one of the great athletes of this century, an Olympic gold medalist, but also someone who dominated the World Cup in skiing and internationally famous, more famous internationally than in the U.S. in many ways, because she did dominate skiing for so long. Now, Pioneer Day. It's the 24th of July. Breck Bolton is there. And Breck, you know what? The governor told us earlier that the IOC decided they were going to hear Utah's presentation today in honor of our holiday, Pioneer Day, because they knew that would be significant for Utah.
Yeah, absolutely great significance this 24th of July. This is why we're here on the parade route. We're on 2nd East. Of course, people lighting the streets as they got here yesterday early, setting up their tents, spending the night. This is kind of one of the traditions for many Utah families. We're joined here from the Mascarenas family from Grantsville. This is Lucas. Okay, you're here on the parade route. You picked this site. This is a new site for you. Why did you choose this site?
Just so we could be closer. We wanted to hear the announcement of the Olympics and, you know, join in the festivities.
Nice. So you were live there at Washington Square seeing that announcement there. Yeah. And you've got the souvenirs to go along with it.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that,
yeah,
waving the Olympic flag.
Yeah, it's part of history, you know, so
yeah.
it was an opportunity.
It is a historical event. Of course, this is a historical day as well. What do you remember about the 2002 Winter Olympics?
Unfortunately, not much. I was just getting out of the military.
Okay.
So
you're looking forward to the 2034,
oh, yeah. Yeah, I feel like I missed out, so it's a great opportunity to join in, you know. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, it will be awesome. And you've got your kids, of course, that will be around for that as well. Yeah. And you got them here for the parade. How many years have you been coming to the parade?
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah, this is kind of tradition for us to, spend the night out here and, just enjoy the atmosphere and have fun at the parade. So, yeah, it's great.
All right. And I have to ask the question, gotten any sleep yet here tonight?
Not yet. No. No.
Not 1 minute. What time did you show up over at Washington Square?
Oh, it was around 2 o'clock.
Okay.
2 o'clock, yep.
And so the party continues on, of course, the celebration, as we'll kind of morph into the celebration for the 24th of July. What do you like most about the parade?
All the floats, of course, just getting to see just the whole atmosphere and, Utah and just celebrating Pioneer Day.
Yeah, it's special. It's impressive to see kind of the work that goes into this parade, all the floats where, it's the members of the area, the community putting it together and really putting on a great show.
It really is a great show. We enjoy it every year.
Oh, very nice. Well, keep this. You never know if that could be a souvenir. Of course, they were giving out I saw some cowbells as well to kind of honor and bring in the celebration. There you go. That's what they were kicking off to welcome in that we now officially have the Winter Games, the Winter Olympics of 2034. Of course, it's going to be a day of celebration. I've got my, Pioneer hat on, so we're wearing multiple hats this morning. But have fun, enjoy the parade. See if you can get maybe a few minutes of shut-eye before we kick off the parade at 9 o'clock. But if not, we'll keep it going. We're feeling the energy here, as we'll be feeling it all morning long. We'll send it back to you, Max.
All right, thank you so much, Breck Bolton. And now we have a live picture from Salt Lake City with Dan Evans and Carrie Cronk.
We're here.
Oh, yeah. You know what? An exciting day, you guys. And I know you have a whole lot more coming up. They've told me, quick toss to break so we can get to all of that is coming up.
We've got 5 hours to mess around with, Max.
Sure do.
So we're going to take a break here.
And it is exciting. Thank you, Max, and we'll be right back.
Summer weather is getting more extreme. Now more than ever, preparedness is the key, and Utah's Weather Authority is ready. Here to navigate you through any climate curveballs.
An excessive heat watch.
Climb into record territory. Possibility of a heat wave.
Our temperatures go back up.
It's going to be a great season.
For the most complete and comprehensive weather coverage this summer, turn to Utah's Weather Authority, only on Fox 13 News.
Now you can watch TV for free. That's right, free with Tablo. Buy a Tablo and you can watch and record all your favorites on the top networks and many more for free. Here's what our customers are saying.
Switching to Tableau has really been a money saver. We are able to connect it to our Wi-Fi very seamlessly. It shows just like a TV guide on our TV. We're able to record our shows that we want to watch.
I do like my sports. With Tableau, I can record something on my phone. I can pause it. I can go get a drink, come back. I can continue in the family room. It's very flexible. Without a monthly subscription is amazing.
Tableau was so easy to set up. It was amazing that I could do that with no technology skills.
Get a Tablo total system with a device and TV antenna at an incredible low price. You'll also receive free shipping and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Tablo. Pay once and watch forever. Order now at tablotv.com or these popular retailers.
Get 2 helpings of Gordon Fox Wednesday. First,
ready to become America's next MasterChef?
The battle between generations
I'm a millennial. I'm not worried about a thing.
Classic Gen X overachiever
has begun.
Which generation is going to win it all?
Then, Ramsey and Vanderpump are searching for the next big food star.
Good luck.
I'd like to say good luck, but I'll be lying.
It's the summer's biggest battle.
You're scared now.
You're scared.
No.
You're scared. Yeah, yeah.
Wednesday beginning at 7 on Fox 13.
You're gonna love this.
Oh, snap! He means business.
Yeah, that would do it.
Buckle up, big boy.
Only 3 out of 10 Americans got this question right. What happened?
I got the wrong answer.
Do not feel ashamed. You're as stupid as I am. Big questions, big prizes, and big balls. Your hair got wet.
This is MasterChef Generations.
The millennials have arrived!
Since I've always thrived in competition, this time I got some of my own.
The more worried you are, the happier I am. Game on.
We need you to remember the lyrics of the song.
I can name that tune in one note.
Let's give away $1 million. It's a competition.
I am Vanderpumped up.
That's what I want to hear.
Live from Utah's news leader. Fox 13's Good Day Utah at 5 starts right now.
The International Olympic Committee has the honor to announce that the 27th Olympic Winter Games 2034 are awarded to Salt Lake City, Utah.
Now at 5, the Winter Olympics are coming back to Utah. We break down the key takeaways from the presentation in Paris.
Oh boy, a big celebration underway this morning, and we have team coverage of it. Fox 13 News reporter Scott McCain has been at the Salt Lake City watch party. Breck Bolton is talking to people ahead of the Days of 47 parade.
But first, John Franke has flown off to Paris with his photographer out there, and pretty exciting stuff. And it looks like you are with Fraser Bullock, who just finished up a very long presentation, and a great one. Morning, John.
Do for you on this great morning. We're joined by Fraser Bullock and Governor Spencer Cox, the dynamic duo of this Utah Olympic bid here. And now I guess we can say it's official. The game's coming back to Utah. Fraser, let me ask you, what does it mean to you?
Well, it means the culmination of so much work, but out of everything, it is really for the Utahns and for the USA to be able to bring this back to our state is just the ultimate thrill.
Governor, I want to ask you, this process began in 2012 when it was Governor Gary Herbert. You continued this. Why was this so important to you and your administration?
Well, this has been a dream since the closing ceremonies of the 2002 Olympics to bring it back, a dream that so many people like Fraser have worked so diligently to do. So it really is a culmination of more than a decade of work, of so many diligent people and public officials before us. But I have to say, too, it was the foresight of the 2002 Olympics that even made this possible by keeping those venues, keeping them active, keeping them open. The legislature, the people of Utah who have responded, that legacy is the reason the Olympics are coming home.
I'm going to ask you about that, Fraser. The venues still are in tip-top shape. They look like it's, they're brand new. You guys have kept them up so well. Will we see these venues for decades to come when our grandkids are here, when we're long gone?
Well, I think absolutely, because there are two things. One, they're for our kids. These are first and foremost for community recreation, and they bring so much life and energy to our communities. The side benefit is that we get to do Olympic and Paralympic Games every maybe 20 years or something like that in the future. So it's a dual benefit that's so important for Utah. And Utah is an Olympic state. And so we have that in our blood. So having these venues is a foundation to a long future.
I have to ask you, Governor, 9.5 years, not a lot of time. Utah's growing. What does Utah need to do to be ready in 2034?
Well, the great news is there's little that we have to do to be ready for the actual Olympic and Paralympic Games. But what we get to do is the part I'm excited about. We get to fix transportation issues in the state. We get to build more housing in the state. We get to do things that are going to elevate, not for the Olympics necessarily, but for all of us, for generations to come, things that are going to make life better for Utah. That's what I'm most excited about, and I just have to say I'm so grateful for the people back home. We thought maybe a couple dozen people would show up at 3 in the morning. Instead, we had thousands of people that showed up because that's who we are. That's who the people of Utah are. We're celebrating the 24th of July. It's an historic day. Thank you to all of you who are awake at, I guess now 5 in the morning. Thank you for showing up, not just today, but always. You may be 5,000 miles apart, but we feel you. We hope you can feel us. We're unified today, and we're very proud that we're delivering. We brought it back.
So we have like 15 seconds. What's on your docket for the rest of the day today?
We're going to celebrate.
We're going to celebrate. That's it. We're just going to party, and you should party too.
Yeah.
Governor and Fraser, we appreciate your time so much. And again, congratulations on bringing the games back to our home state. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
That was Governor Spencer Cox and CEO of Salt Lake, Utah 2034, Fraser Bullock. They are excited today, and I think a lot of folks around our state are excited today as the games are coming back to Utah 9.5 years away, guys.
You are exactly right. Utah is excited, and that is evident this morning.
Yeah, we're going to party like it's 2034. Fox 13's Scott McCain is at the watch party in Salt Lake City, where the drone show is going on right now. Morning, Scott.
Well, guys, like a lot of folks here, folks watching the drone show here, showing the Olympic rings, and a number of other different aspects of bobsled, skiers, and yeah, you know, things have sort of calmed down. The crowd has sort of dispersed a little bit, but still a lot of enthusiasm here, and you know, folks have been really looking forward to this, even though it was basically one of the worst kept secrets in the world that we were going to get these games, but now it's official. And joining us now live is Sandy City Mayor Monica Zoltansky. Thanks for being here. This is going to be such a big benefit for your city, all of our cities. What's your initial prognosis? You weren't here in '95, were you?
I was here in 2002 for the Olympics in 2002, but now for the announcement. What a thrill for Utah tonight, the vote, and so excited. I'm here to support Mayor Mendenhall, Governor Cox, and all Utahns who are excited to bring home the Olympics.
What's it going to be like going forward? You've got a little less than 10 years now. How do you and your city support these games?
Yeah, well, it's good about planning for transportation, housing, accommodations and amenities for the world when we welcome the whole world. So it's not just a Salt Lake City experience, it's going to be all across the Wasatch Front and beyond. It's going to be great for Utah.
Any athletes in your family thinking about competing?
No, unless they have Ed horses to the Winter Olympics, no. Definitely you're not going to see Zoltanskys in it. But I'm just so thrilled to be down here and celebrate with everybody. And a lot of people from Sandy were down here tonight. I was super excited. Yeah, we are just absolutely thrilled.
Sandy City Mayor Monica Zoltansky, thank you for joining us live. And yeah, it's just a situation where the enthusiasm is pretty infectious, guys. And we're going to go back and show you one more shot of the drone show, which has been pretty cool. Back to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. It's so much fun to see that thousands turned out for this big announcement. Obviously, the drone show underway, and people are so excited. We have a lot happening today.
At 5 a.m.
We do.
People are out there, which is great. They were out there a lot earlier than that. We're going to go out to Fox 13's Breck Bolton, who is at the Days of 47 parade, where people have been camping out all night, and they get the dual benefit this morning, Breck.
I know, multiple reasons to be celebrating here this morning. Yeah, we're here on the parade route, 2nd East near 1st South. Of course, yeah, thousands of people lining the parade route, getting ready for the Days of 47 parade. But also, in addition, there's an extra excitement in the air. I'm joined here with Fred from Kaysville.
Yes.
Yeah, you came out, of course. How many years have you been coming to the parade?
Over 20 years.
Over 20 years.
Yes.
And this spot,
right in here.
Right in here. This is where your area is.
Where we are.
Now, you made your way down to the Olympic celebration. How was that?
Yes, it was awesome down there. A great feeling, great energy, and excited to have the Olympics back here again.
Now, you remember the 2002 Winter Olympics. What did you do to partake of that experience?
Oh, well, we went to the opening ceremonies, which was fantastic and touching after 9/11, and went to several of the events and volunteered for curling.
Oh,
So,
did you really?
yeah,
Oh,
so-
very good. Okay. Hopes to maybe volunteer again when it comes back 10 years
For
from now?
sure. It was a great experience.
Yeah, but now you've got kids, grandkids?
Yes.
Okay.
So it'll be super fun to
Yeah.
share that with them.
Oh, very nice. Okay, let's talk about the parade. You've been doing this for so many years. Why do you like coming to the parade?
I think it gives a place for where people can come together, community, and share in the common tradition and experience of what made Salt Lake Salt Lake.
Right, and because of that and that community spirit and those that want to come make that contribution and volunteer, this is why we're getting the Olympic Games back here.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So excited. I remember the 2002 Winter Olympics as well. It was a fun, just a kind of a surge of just excitement and just kind of proud of being, you know, with the USA. And of course, we've got the Olympics going to be taking place here shortly. So it's a fun time to be here. I was mentioning to you, look what I dug out of the closet here. Remember these? Do you remember these?
Of course.
Did you have one?
We've got some.
You still have them?
Of course.
So I checked on eBay. Yesterday, they were selling between $12 to $25. I thought, man, they're going to be worth some money. Maybe after today, though, they might go up in value here. I don't know if it looks good on me, but these were the cool thing. When the athletes came out, you were there, opening ceremonies, yes. They were wearing these, and everyone had to get one. We still got them. We'll have a new set of something that'll be cool coming up 2034. Exciting time. Excited to be here for the parade as well. We'll send it back to you, Dan and Carrie.
Oh man, those Olympic berets, you could not get one back in the day, but yeah, we can get it from Breck now.
You can get one on eBay.
Borrow one from Breck.
Well, you can buy one on eBay right now for $22.
Maybe
yeah,
$12.
$12 to $25. Yeah, they look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man hats. This afternoon, there will be a festival at Utah Olympic Park in Park City. We just showed you that, but we talked over it. Organizers say there will be music, food, meet and greets with Olympians, followed by a freestyle skiing show from the Flying Ace All-Stars. Fox 13 News plans to be there live in our 4 p.m. news. We are all things Olympics and Days of 47 today.
It's a party all day long, Damon.
There's a lot going on today, yeah.
The party started early, so we'll probably clock out pretty early.
And it's going to be hot all day long, so if you're going to take a nap, find a spot in the shade, right? Okay. Yeah, you know, it's been baking hot last couple of days. That was the case across the interior west yesterday with the temperature in Salt Lake. They climbed all the way up to 101, and it goes even higher today, so no holiday from the heat. It's going to be an issue for a lot of you. In fact, the heat risk is even higher than it was yesterday. It's going to be major in a lot of the valleys, including northern Utah, the Wasatch Front, parts of western Utah as well, with a heat advisory in effect from noon until 10 o'clock. So even though it's an exciting day, a lot going on, make sure you are taking plenty of breaks and drinking lots of water. Now, we've got a clear start to the day across Salt Lake City, where a lot of action already taking place this morning. 77, a cool 61 in Logan. In St. George, it's currently 87. And in Salt Lake, clear skies, smoky again, so it's going to be looking hazy out there with the temperature in the low 80s as the parade gets started. We'll let you know what it feels like this afternoon when we look at the rest of the forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, thank you, Damon. With the big announcement in Paris on Utah hosting the 2034 Winter Games, we are taking a look back at the past, how lessons learned previously will carry over in the future. Don't go anywhere. Time is 5:13.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. So make it your best summer ever with Ford. Get your ideal combination of power and capability. And experience hands-free highway driving technology with Ford Blue Cruise, available on select vehicles. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event, so make it yours. Make it now. Make it 0% APR financing. Make it a zero down payment, and make it no payments for up to 90 days on select Ford vehicles. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Welcome back to Topgolf.
I'm Birdie Baker.
And I'm Chaz Mulligan.
I'm fired up, Chaz.
You sure are. We're at Bay 208, where the Ruiz family is enjoying free 30. A free 30 minutes of golf, weekdays until 5 p.m. when you book a reservation.
Did you just say free birdie?
No, I said free 30. A free 30 minutes of golf every weekday until 5 p.m.
Oh, cheeseburger. Delicious.
No. I said
I
free
love my
30, a free 30
cheeseburgers.
minutes.
Have you ever put a hot dog on a cheeseburger?
This is the GMC Sierra, powered by the TurboMax engine, with the confidence of 430 pound-feet of best-in-class standard torque. GMC Sierra, it's the truck. Get 1.9% APR on select 2024 Sierra 1500 models, or current eligible GMC owners get over $7,800 total value. We are professional grade GMC.
Life's better when you're under our roof.
Your policy's updated.
Because we know your house is where their dreams begin.
Impressive.
Thanks, Caleb.
And our agents are here to help you feel protected, so your family can pursue their dreams.
Hey.
Bundle life and save up to 25% on home and auto. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
Stanley Steamer is proud to be the leader in deep cleaning, cleaning over 1 million homes and businesses across America every year, using powerful equipment custom built by us. We'll remove the buildup of dirt, dust, allergens, grime, and contaminants seen and unseen from your home and business. America's professional deep cleaner for over 75 years. It's not clean until it's Stanley Steamer Clean.
Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
Fox 13 News heads to Paris. Will the 2034 Winter Games put Utah on the world stage once again? Follow Fox 13's John Franke, traveling with the Utah delegation. From Wheels Up and SLC to the announcement of the decade live on Good Day Utah.
The excitement, the potential, and the celebrations. Fox 13 News is proud to be in Paris to cheer on Salt Lake City.
The Winter Games announcement. Coverage continues today, only on Fox 13 News. Sports with Andrea Urban, only on Fox 13 News.
The Olympic cauldron is now lit up at Rice-Eccles Stadium at the University of Utah. This is a live look at it. Salt Lake City will be the host for the 2034 Winter Games, and this is kind of a signature of what is going to be happening in 10 years. The unveiling of the 2034 transition logo is expected at around 5:30 this morning, in about 15 minutes. There will also be a celebratory exchange between Paris and Salt Lake City around that time. We don't know what that'll look like, so kind of excited to see what that is.
We're also talking about the many Olympic lessons that we learned in the past that are going to carry us forward to 2034.
Fox 13 News anchor Bob Evans sat down with former Utah Governor Mike Leavitt and takes us back to 1995.
In 2002, to the city of Salt Lake City.
History provides great perspective. Then Governor Mike Leavitt was right in the middle of the 2002 games and everything leading up to them.
It was a powerful moment. It's rare that anyone who was part of it, and it was most everyone who was in Utah at the time, they were either pulled over at the side of the road listening to the radio, or in front of a television at work, or at school, or at home. And when those moments were said, there were 150,000 people in front of the city and county building, and it erupted into this magical moment when everyone's heart was beating together for the same thing. There are very few things in the history of a state that present such a moment.
Finally, in the world spotlight, Utah had a unique opportunity.
The 17 days are a lot of work, but they're a glorious 17 days. It's what happens before and after that really brings the value.
And to get an idea of what to expect and how to plan, Governor Leavitt visited the Summer Games in Atlanta in 1996.
What became very clear is that we needed to be thinking about not just the 17 days, but what do we want the state to look like in the long run? And we should use that very sensitive time leading up to the games to make certain that we would bring people, organizations, companies, industries, purposes to the state for the games that would help credential us for the future. So the important thing was having a picture of what we wanted to accomplish and then organizing to accomplish that.
Leavitt came up with a 1,000-day plan that was put into motion.
And our objective was to make Utah a technology capital. Now, if you look back over the last 30 years, that has happened. We are a technology capital. We are seen widely as one of the most vibrant technology markets in America. So much of the entrepreneurship came from changes that occurred during that period. Our reputation, the infrastructure that was built, the capacity to be viewed, and our brand. The Olympics helped a lot. So it wasn't just the tourism industry that benefited, it was every Utahn, every industry benefited because our economy got stronger and we became more sophisticated as a state.
Learning from the past with an eye to the future.
My advice has been to those who lead the state currently to use this as a period of time to be very clear about what we want the state to be like in the future, and use this powerful period between now and 2034 to position ourselves to become what we aspire to be. Now, that may mean some of the same things it meant for us. We had to redo our highways. We had housing issues we had to deal with. We were right in the middle of a very large population boom. We had to do things that would allow us to shape those into what we aspired to be. And now is the time to be thinking about the future. Our generation had our turn, the next generation will get theirs, and the generation after that will learn from them.
It is nice to have history to learn from. That was Fox 13 News anchor Bob Evans reporting. Now, the former governor suggests looking at the artificial intelligence industry, biotech, or other areas that not yet considered.
Yeah, it leaves us with the question, what are the things we can do to produce family wage jobs so people can live here and live out their lives in the way they choose? He says the 2034 Olympics will play a crucial role in that. But the 2002 Olympics set the stage for where we are right now. Pretty interesting story there.
All right, Mother Nature will play a crucial role in how we feel outdoors today. There are a lot of events happening on this Pioneer Day, right, David?
Yeah, and we don't get any holiday from the hot weather. Off to a quiet start, though, with fair skies across much of Utah. Some of the high bay showers off to the west of us in Nevada have tapered off. Not entirely, a little stormy in southern Nevada. Salt Lake City, it's 77 degrees with a breeze southeast 7 miles per hour. So warm morning for all the folks that are out and about for the announcement and, of course, gearing up for Pioneer Day activities. A lot of valleys are hovering in the 60s and 70s, although it's warmer than that in St. George. Or it's currently 87. Now, high pressure is sliding across Utah today, making it the hottest day of the week. It'll be drifting a little farther to the east later in the day, and that's going to allow more moisture to move in from the south to fuel more widespread showers and thunderstorms by tomorrow. Some of this might pop up in western Utah later tonight, but just like the last couple of days, the best chance of the storms that might bring some heavy rain could be over southwest Utah this afternoon and evening. Aside from that, mostly sunny across the majority of the state, still hanging on to patchy smoke. Temperatures climbing close to or a little bit higher than they were yesterday. So in Salt Lake City, it looks like we're going to peak at 103 this afternoon. That's not into record territory, but it comes close. Today's record is 105. That's going to set the stage for some very warm weather for fireworks or watching the drone shows this evening. In fact, temperature is still going to be hovering around 90 degrees at 10 o'clock. Tomorrow, we'll still have a chance of more showers and thunderstorms in the south, drying out by Friday. Sunny this weekend, not quite as hot, but still hovering above 100. And in Salt Lake City, it's going to be partly cloudy with the chance of late day showers and thunderstorms Thursday and Friday, and that'll finally knock the temperature down into the mid 90s. Stay about that hot this weekend, but dry out by then.
Thank you, Damon. A big speech from President Biden expected this evening. Here's some of the key topics he'll address. Time is 5:23.
Political reporter Ben Winslow, weeknights at 5 p.m. on Fox 13 News.
Get into an Audi and go your own way. Find your way to exceptional offers during the Summer of Audi sales event at your local Audi dealer.
Want to save on some of the biggest names in streaming on the network made for streaming? X marks the spot. Now when you get Xfinity Internet for 12 months, you can add the new Stream Saver for $15. That includes Netflix, Peacock, and Apple TV+. That's Xfinity Internet and Stream Saver for just $35 a month. All your favorites, all in one place, all for one low price. For more watching and less spending, X marks the spot. Switch to Xfinity, the network made for streaming, and bring on the good stuff.
The excellence of driving a Buick is matched by the excellence of the dealership experience when you own a Buick. Buick, exceptional by design.
Current eligible Buick and GMC lessees get this ultra-low mileage lease on this 2024 Encore GX Preferred for around $199 per month.
Make summer twice as nice. Earn 2 for rewards, aka double points, with the Mountain America Rewards credit card.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
It's perfect for 2 for treats, 2 for travel, and 2 for pool time. That's 2 for rewards with the Mountain America Rewards credit card. So get to it.
This summer is the perfect time to get away with a great deal on your favorite Hyundai models. All backed by America's best warranty, plus 3 years or 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. Add more joy to your journey. Hurry in to the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get in and get away now. Now for a limited time, get 1.99% APR for 60 months on the Hyundai Tucson or Elantra. See your Utah Hyundai dealer.
Summer weather is getting more extreme. Now more than ever, preparedness is the key, and Utah's Weather Authority is ready. Here to navigate you through any climate curveballs.
An excessive heat watch.
Climb into record territory. Possibility of a heat wave.
Our temperatures go back up. It's going to be a great season.
For the most complete and comprehensive weather coverage this summer, turn to Utah's Weather Authority, only on Fox 13 News.
Get into an Audi and go your own way. Find your way to exceptional offers during the Summer of Audi sales event at your local Audi dealer.
5:26 on this Wednesday. This evening, President Biden will address the nation for the first time since his decision to drop out of the 2024 presidential race. He says he'll also talk about how he will, quote, finish the job for the American people. The president will speak at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. You can watch right here on Fox 13, right after Fox 13 News, live at 5. Utah has made its final push to host the 2034 Winter Olympics. Fox 13's John Franke is live in Paris this morning for us, breaking down all the celebrations from Paris to Washington Square.
Fox 13 News heads to Paris. Will the 2034 Winter Games put Utah on the world stage once again? Follow Fox 13's John Franke, traveling with the Utah delegation. From Wheels Up and SLC to the announcement of the decade live on Good Day Utah.
The excitement, the potential, and the celebrations. Fox 13 News is proud to be in Paris to cheer on Salt Lake City.
The Winter Games announcement. Coverage continues today, only on Fox 13 News.
Whoever said patience is a virtue never sat in these K5 GT sports seats. The powerful new Kia K5 GT is here. Lease a new 2025 K5 LXS for $279 a month.
Need inspiration? Shop Smith's. For over 30,000 mouth-watering choices. Plus, savings like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. Smith's is worth it every time. Smith's, fresh for everyone.
You're going to love this. Oh, snap!
It means business.
Yeah, that would do it.
Buckle up, big boy.
Only 3 out of 10 Americans got this question right. What happened?
I got the wrong answer.
Do not feel ashamed. You're as stupid as I am. Big questions, big prizes, and big balls. Your hair got wet.
This is MasterChef Generations.
The millennials have arrived!
Since I've always thrived in competition, this time I got some of my own.
The more worried you are, the happier I am. Game on.
We need you to remember the lyrics of the song.
I can name that tune in one note.
Let's give away 1. It's a competition.
I am Vanderpumped up.
That's what I want to hear.
Professional hockey is here. Fox 13 and Utah 16, proud to be the official home of the Utah Hockey Club.
Get 2 helpings of Gordon Fox Wednesday. First,
Ready to become America's next MasterChef?
the battle between generations
I'm a millennial. I'm not worried about a thing.
Classic Gen X overachiever.
has begun.
Which generation is going to win it all?
Then, Ramsey and Vanderpump are searching for the next big food star.
Good luck.
I'd like to say good luck, but I'll be lying.
It's the summer's biggest battle.
You're scared now. You're scared.
No.
You're scared. Yeah, you are.
Tonight beginning at 7 on Fox 13. Robin Ogenye, weekdays at 4, only on Fox 13 News.
Welcome back, everyone. We're glad you're with us this morning. We've been waiting for this day to happen, and now it's official. Salt Lake City is the host for the 2034 Winter Olympic Games.
After nearly 10 years of build-up and preparation, the delegation representing Salt Lake City made its final presentation, but there are still some concerns.
The International Olympic Committee has the honor to announce that the 27th Olympic Winter Games 2034 are awarded to Salt Lake City, Utah.
Well, more than 100 people made up the delegation that traveled to Paris from Utah for the final presentation. Fox 13 News reporter Scott McCain has been in Salt Lake City at the watch party, while Breck Bolton is talking to people ahead of the Days of 47 parade.
But first, we're going to go out to Scott with the latest on those celebrations. Scott, good morning. People still hanging around? Oh, darn it.
Well, the answer is yes. I wanted to answer for you. There were still people there, but apparently the microphone is not working.
Yeah, so we'll go back out to him in just a moment.
We've got other people to go to. Fox 13's Breck Bolton is at the Days of 47 parade. A lot of the people who are camping out overnight also were able to see the watch party there and be there close by. Breck, good morning.
Good morning, Dan and Carrie. Yes, we're on the parade route here at 2nd East, close to 1st South, gearing up for the parade. But yes, the focus has been in the overnight hours. The Olympic announcement, the celebration. People have been going down to Washington Square, kind of feeling that buzz, taking part, and then coming back, getting ready for the parade. We're joined here. Oh, first name?
Melissa.
Melissa from Layton, right?
Yep.
And you got your family here. You're camped out, ready to go. First, have you gotten any sleep here tonight?
No, not at all.
Not at all. And you went down to the celebration.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was great. Just good vibe. Everyone's excited to have the Olympics back.
Now, were you here with the 2002 Winter Olympics?
Yeah.
Okay. And what did you go to any of the events, to the ceremonies? What did you do?
No, just kind of went to Park City, but didn't attend any events.
Yeah. This next goal. Shop the Rouge. We've been talking about the berets, right? The popular berets. Yeah. We'll see if they're going to go up in value. Did you do any Olympic pin trading back then?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Do you have the green Jello Olympic pin?
No, I don't, but I saw it up at the museum.
All right, right. That might raise some value as well. Okay, now you've been talking about coming to the parade for many years. Is this your spot? Do you usually come right at this spot, or do you select different areas?
Spot the last 4 years.
And how many years you've been coming, did you say?
My whole life.
Your whole life?
Yeah.
And then now you've got some kids that you're bringing to the parade?
Yeah, I've got my daughters here. They're 12 and 15, and my 8-year-old's asleep in the tent.
All right, let's ask them. Do you guys like camping out overnight, sleeping here, or not getting any sleep and watching the parade?
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Now, I understand that you're here for the parade. The floats are cool, but you're here for another reason. What do you really want?
Olivia Rodrigo tickets.
What? That's what you want? Is there some contest to get tickets here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a radio station is just giving them out.
Okay, so the Olympic announcement, is that exciting?
Yeah.
Okay. There are multiple reasons why we're here. I'm excited for the Olympics. We're excited for the parade, of course, celebrating and honoring those that came here and settled this valley, and this is why we have this hat on. But again, the other hat that I've been wearing celebrating the Olympics, I remember the 2002 Winter Olympics. It was an exciting time, just, taking part. You think of names back then. Apollo Ono, remember the short speed track skater there? Derek Parra, had a chance to meet him as well back when he was working at Home Depot getting ready for the Olympics. So a cool time, a lot to remember, a lot to look forward to. Of course, this is a day of remembrance that we think 24th of July for those pioneers, and we're going to celebrate kicking it off here in the parade. Oh, we got about a few more hours to go, so we might get some shut-eye, but we're hoping to get the tickets. So if you can help out at all, Dan and Carrie. Do we have any contests for tickets? I don't think so.
Sorry, Breck, and if you don't rap right now, you're going to be working at Home Depot, so thanks a lot. He wears many hats out there.
He does.
Hats.
All right, we're going to go out to John Franke. He is in Paris this morning, and the celebrations continue. This is a day to take it in after all the hard work. Good morning, John.
Yeah, good morning, guys. We're at Rural Restaurant where the U.S. delegation is right now, and right now Fraser Bullock is speaking. We'll take that live.
There was a little drama, and we were not even aware of that until 12 days ago. And all of a sudden, it was very long days and long nights, and I gotta say, working with our team, particularly Gene and Sarah. Sarah, we were on text going back and forth and phone calls and letters and everything intensively for about 5 straight days to resolve the issues, including the host contract, including the letters and everything else. So I am so grateful to everybody, and talking to Mayor Mendenhall and Kat and just working through everything. But to make it clear, that has nothing to do